what's going on with OBS. Well, let's go. Start streaming. Hello, Huckleberry. Hello, Jereb. Hello, Judge. Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm going to share out the live to some of my friends. If you could share it out to your Discord, your friends, your enemies, and your frenemies, I'd really appreciate it. Hey, Sunny, good to see you. I just thought that I would ask today, like if I could just ask some questions, like that way, like whatever comes to mind, you know, but also I'm not trying to be in, you know, like rage baity. I'm really not. That's not the goal. Oh, we are? I think Joyful's going to be alive again in a minute too, or really soon. Thank you, Tahir. Tahir, you guys, everybody show Tahir some love. If you're not following Tahir, please do so. Tahir is an admin for the Deconstruction Junction, and she just does so much to help people out. It's amazing. Hi, Christian. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. Are you over 18?
Yep.
All right, cool. So do you mind if I ask you some questions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you mind telling me why you're a Christian?
Yeah, because Jesus Christ is my Lord and my God, and He died for me that I might live.
How did you find out about Him?
Through my parents.
Okay, so were you like baptized as a child into a certain denomination?
No.
Did they do any kind of like, for my kids, I did like a christening. It wasn't really like a baptism. I just kind of dedicated them to Jesus. Did they do anything like that?
No, I mean they weren't super religious, but I mean they like taught me about it and stuff, and I just feel like I just wanted to learn more about it and stuff, so yeah.
Do you go to church now? Are you
Yeah.
active in the church, or are you just a Christian? Okay.
No, I go to church. Yeah.
Do you work for the church?
No, I don't.
Do you feel called into like doing something for Jesus? Like, do you feel called into the ministry in some form? Good morning, Alex.
I mean,
Good
yeah.
morning, everybody. Jeffro.
Yeah, I would say so. Maybe like the future, but probably not right now.
Cool. Have you ever had any like really cool miracles happen?
No, I wouldn't say so. Not necessarily.
Do you read the Bible?
Yeah.
Have you read all the way through at least once?
No.
So, have you read the parts where he, like, God does some shitty stuff?
Where does He do that?
Like when He tells the Israelites how to get slaves right after He, like, releases them from being slaves.
Yeah, so laying down the laws of regulations for slavery.
Well, there were already laws and regulations for slavery,
Yeah,
so
he
all
laid down
He
the
did was tell
regulations
His
and
people
laws.
it was cool for them to do it too.
No, He didn't say that. He's just laying down the
Yeah, He
regulations
did.
and laws.
No, He didn't. He told them, here's how you can have slaves,
So where does the
where you
Bible
can
say
get them
slavery is
from,
okay?
what you're allowed to do.
So where
I'm
does the
telling
Bible
you
say
right now.
slavery is
Listen,
okay?
Christian, listen just a minute. Don't
No, just give me the
let's
verse
not
and
do
chapter.
Christian. Let's not do that. Okay, I'm gonna talk, and I'm gonna let you talk, and we could just have.
Well,
a
I mean, you're making
conversation,
baseless
okay?
claims. You have to probably
I
tell
will.
me.
I
So
will
give me the
get
chapter
to the
and verse.
verses, but you can
Yeah,
let
go
me
ahead.
talk, okay?
I mean,
Okay,
you're talking
Christian,
about
I'm
nonsense.
going to talk how I want to talk, and you're not going to control me, okay?
I mean,
You understand? Okay, so I'm going to finish saying what I was saying, and you're not going to control my dialogue, okay? Now,
I mean, you can calm
He
down.
tells them, what?
You can calm down. You're a little angry for some reason.
I am. I think you should read the chat. I'm not the one who needs to calm down.
And I'm pretty calm. I don't know about you. But
No, you're really not right now.
yeah,
You're getting
I'm pretty
upset,
calm.
and you're talking over me because
Definitely
you're
not
not.
upset.
I'm not letting you control the conversation.
I mean, yeah, I'm a man. You're a woman, right? So,
What does that mean?
I mean, we have different roles, so I hold the more dominant role. I mean, you should really be quiet. I mean, you shouldn't be teaching with women. The Bible says that.
Oh.
Jeez, that laugh was, goodness.
Did that bother you, Pumpkin?
Yeah, don't call me pumpkin, please. It's a little weird.
Oh, does it bother you when I call you pumpkin?
Yeah, it's a little weird. Like my
Yeah.
grandma
Why is
does
it
that
weird?
more. Because my grandma
Well,
does
I
that.
am a grandma.
I mean, you're not my grandma. I don't know you.
I said I am a grandma.
Yeah, but I don't know you. You're not my
Miss me, now you gotta kiss me. You're up my sentence, call it just a thought.
grandma.
Say you
The fuck
love
off of this
strong
thing.
women till you get caught. You want a queen who keeps it light and sweet. But bow down, little man,
Did he run?
and kiss my feet.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're misinformed, misguided, mistaken. And that's boy, I know you're faking. Miss me with that misogyny.
You ain't the man you think you be. Miss me with that hypocrisy. Your fragile ego and royalty. I'm misbehaving and just being me. Miss me with that misogyny.
Good morning, everybody. That was so fun. First thing.
You quote some podcast, call it
Yeah. But all I see is you begging for respect. You rate our bodies, dismiss our brains, then cry not all men again.
Miss me with your tone.
Miss me with your sigh, miss me with your sweetheart. Boy, bye. Miss me with that misogyny.
Don't need your fake apology. Miss me, can't you see?
I'm the star. You're just an extra baby.
Miss me with that misogyny.
Yeah, he ran, Lowen. The little misogynist ran away. He didn't want to hear my song about him. There's somebody in the guest box. How are you today?
I'm good. I saw you go live, so I thought I'd, join and chill for a little bit before I get some more sleep for work tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to start again. Trying to turn off my iPad. Oops. Hey, Ministro, how are you?
Hey, Crystal, how you doing? Hi, Lowen. Just passing by. I'm about to have lunch, but I wanted to say hi. It's been a while since the last time I came around here, and
Yeah,
I've seen you around
it
my
has
lives,
been a
but we are
while.
always shouting in Spanish and yelling. I'm not sure if she understands anything. I just
I
wanted
I do
you do.
understand some Spanish because mi hijo and mexicano.
Oh, great. The
Mi
thing
ex
is, we
esposo
don't speak
son de
Spanish.
Mexico.
Oh, perfecto. The thing is, we don't speak Spanish. We speak Dominican Spanish.
Yeah, I know. So then it's like, oh, I think I understand, and then I'm like, I'm not sure. I caught that, right? So
Yeah,
it's different.
but good for you. Good for you. Oh, yeah. People think we are fighting, but no, we speak like that.
But you're passionate. You're just
Yeah,
passionate. I
yeah.
like
We're
that.
very passionate. We're very even Mexican friends used to tell me, "Why are you yelling so all the time?" And I'm like, no, we are not. Like we're having a friendly conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Well,
again, good to see you as usual, and
it's good to see you too. Well, I was just trying to have Christians up to date where we could just ask them some questions, just like whatever, because I thought, okay, I want to have conversations. Like, I really do. And so I'm going to try not to be like rage baity and put something up here that's going to draw somebody up here just to fight with me. And the first guy who comes up just told me that I'm below him just because I'm a woman. And I'm sorry, but
damn.
feel like he was picking a fight. I could be wrong, but I think he was picking a fight.
Wow. Wow. I've been lately going to Christians nationalist, but they are in a whole nother level.
Oh wow, yeah,
Because these are like
yeah.
Christians with steroids, like,
Yes, yes, exactly.
and I've never been to, to an American Christian nationalist uh TikTok live, but these are mostly Dominicans and Latinos who are American citizens that are Christian nationalists. Like, and these guys, they are just, they threaten you, your kids, your family, everything.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah,
You know, like they really don't understand that white Christian nationalists will use them to spew the rhetoric, but they will never sit at the same table as
yeah,
them. They will never shake their hand. They will
I tell them.
never allow them to even be a part of them. Once they're
I
done
always
using
tell
them
them
up, they will be next.
they will be next. Yeah, yeah. I don't know
The same
why
with the women.
they
The
think.
same with the women. You know who support these.
hmm
It's the
hmm
same thing. They're using you.
There is a Dominican, a 24-year-old fellow Dominican that was born in the U.S. and I mean, and Dominicans don't like to admit that they are black, but she's very black, and she's like far right winger Christian nationalist, and I'm like, look at yourself, like you'll never be accepted, like you'll never be one of them. Like I
Yeah.
get it if you're a boomer, if you're a Gen Z, or even a millennial born in Dominican, but how come you're uh, I'm sorry, Gen X. How come you're a Gen Z born in the US and you think like this? Like,
Yeah.
no, something is wrong. Something is very
But
wrong there.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm a Gen X, and I'm an old Gen X. I don't give Gen X a break. They should know better. We
Oh
were
no,
the
I
ones
don't
who were.
either.
You know what I mean? Like people, if you're in my generation, you don't get a break from me. I'm not giving you that. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, no, no.
Like,
What I meant with that
you
is
know,
I give a break to
they should
Gen
know.
X from
Yeah.
Dominican because of
Oh yeah.
the development of Dominican back in the days.
Yes.
Gen X, and I've seen this because I live in Canada. I lived in Dominican for 28 years, and I never lived in the US, but I did spend 6 years and a half working all over the US in more than 40 states, and I learned that Gen X in Dominican are not Gen X in Americans in American
Right.
or
Right.
Canada. Like
That makes sense.
they feel more like baby boomers than real Gen X. I'm with you. Gen X more in
Yeah.
America, I don't give them a break. Or in Canada, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, dude, you should know
They better
better.
know. Yeah.
But Gen X in Dominican, for the most part, I give them a break. Like my best friend is a Gen X in Dominican, but he lives here in Canada,
Hmm.
and no, he's I don't give him a break, and I mean he's not like that. He's just like you. He's an atheist. He's very open-minded, but he's been living in Canada for 15 years, and he told me, "Hey, when I came from the U.S. From Dominican, I wasn't like that." He told me I
Yeah.
healed here.
That makes sense too. You know. And I could
hmm
see that the geography would definitely play a role in that. You know.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
It's
Trust me, it
ridiculous that it
is. It
does,
is.
right? But it
It is.
does play a role.
The
Um,
gap has closed now with the Gen Zs because now what you guys get, we get it right away in the minute. What you guys see, we even see it first sometimes. So now the gap is definitely getting closer. Um, but with the other generations, even me, I'm a millennial, and uh, I don't know why. Maybe because of some of the privilege that I have in Dominican, I I see no differences between my way of thinking and Canadians and Americans. But again, there's a lot that comes into. into account that it's not fair to compare. Like, for example, my great great granddad went to university on my dad's side. On my mother's side, she was the first person that graduated from a university. And most Dominicans, this is their first generation that went to a university. Like, it's not the same. Like, I inherited many things that were just privileges. So
Yeah.
that's why I guess that. Well, and I learned English from a very young age. So I always had a lot of exposure to that American continent content and things like that. So I guess there's not much of a difference between me and an American millennial, but most millennials in Dominican can also be boomers.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that.
Well, I'm
It's
gonna
just,
grab
I think
some
a way
lunch.
of thinking, you know? Like,
Hmm.
it's just a way of thinking in certain locations. Because it's funny, I've even talked to people here in California. Like, there obviously we have a large Hispanic community, and I will ask them sometimes, why is the vote uh, sometimes very evidently against your own best interests? And they said because of the Catholic Church.
Yeah, I was a Catholic. I know.
Yeah, that's just wild. I don't get it. But well, you have some lunch, and thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you,
I hope you have a great
Crystal.
day.
You too. I hope you have a great weekend too. Yeah, Hispanics mostly are Catholic, Sam.
Yeah, and the Catholic Church, like, but what can you do?
Well, have a good one. See you, Crystal.
Like, bye.
Bye.
I don't know what's going on with Sam. I am low in the chat, but he's just like keeps putting 80s references, and it's getting kind of funny to me. I'm finding it a little hilarious. Thank you, Ty here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. If you are over on the YouTube, good morning, everybody over on the YouTube. You want to be a part of the conversation, you'd have to come over here to the TikTok, okay? And I'm CrystalJae. CrystalJae, that's who I am. I am CrystalJae over on TikTok. I am CrystalJae over on YouTube, JAE. What about the first guest? I didn't see what you said. I'm sorry. Is that ridiculous Christian guy still here in the chat? He was pathetic. I don't know if he's still here or not. That was just wild. Wild. I'm just chilling along, asking him questions about his faith. Just wild. And then I let him know that slavery really was in the Bible, and I wasn't going to let him talk over me. And he decided to just tell me that I have to let him because he's the man. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm trying to get a little better about I should expect this by now. For like sometimes I think I gaslight myself and tell myself that I'm overreacting about the misogyny on this app from, especially the right wing Christian men. And then the very first guest I get does something like that. And I'm like, oh no, why do I gaslight myself? I need to just realize that that's the way they are. They are just who they are. Lon, you must be busy doing something. I feel like I'm just talking to myself.
No, I'm listening. I don't know. I'm a little tired today.
That's okay. I'll just keep talking. I wish you didn't have to expect misogyny. It's so sad. You're just trying to hold a conversation and share ideas. Like, I really thought, I'm not joking, I thought, am trying not to do any rage bait today. I just want to see if I can have some conversations, if I just like am open, right? And so that's why I put this. And for him to just like freak out within the first few minutes of conversation is wild to me. It's wild. I really was, because I was thinking maybe I am a little rage baity. Maybe I should reevaluate what I put up there or whatever. If I want to have conversations, what could I say that would just, open up the conversation so they don't feel intimidated or trapped or, baited or whatever. And so that's what I thought this question would do. What? Now I never ever will believe again that any of these are rage bait. No matter what an atheist puts up there from now on, it is not rage bait. These Christians just like to rage over nothing. I'm convinced. Well, thank you, Jordan. I appreciate you. And I appreciate you being here. And thank you guys for tapping the screen, sharing out the live, 116 shares. Thank you. I know I've got a lot of steep competition this morning out there in the TikTok algorithm. But thank you for joining me for a little bit this morning. I'm going to be live for 3 hours unless I meet my gift goal. And then if I meet my gift goal, I always stay an extra hour. But hopefully we'll have conversations. But if you are down in the chat and you just want to come up and talk for a little bit, hang out, the guest box is open, and I like to keep the conversation flowing so I love having people up on the panel. You can come up. I don't like to stack it too tall if there's a Christian up here, because I don't want them to feel, overwhelmed, and then we don't get a good conversation. Then they shut down or they get mad and they crash out. So kind of like to keep it smaller then. But if you'd like to come up and hang out, guest box is open. If you're over on YouTube, like I've said, you got to come over to the TikTok. One day I will grow up. Oh, by the way, I think you guys can see it. See, that's how far we are so far in my computer thing, but I have to put a pause on that. I know that all the gifts and stuff are going for that, but I want to let you know I'm going to be posting in the Deconstruction Junction Discord. But my son-in-law is in need of some dental work, and he needs it a long time ago. Okay, and the problem is my son-in-law is a trans man, and during the time where he was legally changing his name, Donald Trump took office and made it so that you had to use your dead name on your federal IDs. Half of his paperwork was in his dead name, half is in his new name, and California was screwing it up on his insurance, and now the government is shut down altogether, and he can't get to his insurance, hasn't been able to use insurance, and it's been frustrating and horrible. But now he needs dental work, and I paid for he and I didn't pay for all of it. I mean, we paid for the exams and the x-rays, but we cannot afford the dental work. He is going to need $2,500 to $17,000 of dental work, and that's not veneers, that's not implants, that's just dental work when you don't have insurance. These are some fillings, some root canals, some caps, very common dental work. But we can't pay that. So I'm going to be putting a thing in the outreach. And if you guys have anything, even, just a few bucks or whatever that you can help with this, every little bit will help. He is a good guy. He's been a part of our Discord for a really long time. He's actually an admin in our Discord, but he's quiet in the background, and he helps when I need help with bots and things like that. And he's just an amazing young man. He's getting his GED right now. My daughter's getting her medical billing and coding license right now, and they're just trying to get back on their feet and trying to survive this fucked up world we live in right now. So keep an eye out for that in the Discord. And if you can, share the story so that other people might help him out too. I really appreciate it. He's a really good guy. His name is Aaron, Aeron. And yeah, he's a good guy. And I appreciate you guys. I always appreciate you. You guys have helped me before, and I can't say enough how much that helped when I needed it. And I don't expect anything, but when you guys do help, I think it's amazing. And I try to help anybody and everybody I can when I can. So I love our community because I feel like that's who we are. That's who my friends are. We help each other. All right, so any questions? Should we play the Bible tab game while we wait?
Did I was curious if you saw that the Supreme Court is debating on seeing a case to take back the right to gay marriages.
No. Every day, it's just another right they're taking away from us every single day.
Yep.
And let me explain to you something. If you think that East Wing is turning into a ballroom, you are very mistaken. That is a bunker. He is not going to leave that White House. He's not going to.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening at all.
And all I can do is do things like this, hang out with you guys, talk about the evil God that has helped these motherfuckers perpetuate this all, to help me feel like I'm doing something, and also help me not just curl up into the fetus position until...
Also, I find it funny that he's, going out there saying that it's not going to be taxpayer money that's for these quote-unquote renovations, but he's also suing the DOJ for, the exact estimated amount that these are going to take, claiming that the justice system failed him.
Hi, I'm not smart. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing well. What you want to talk about today?
I'm a Christian, so go ahead and ask away a question.
Okay, I can. All right, because I had a guest not very long ago who came up and said I could, and then got just freaked out on me while I thought we were having a nice conversation, because I really was just asking questions. So, all right, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you find out about Jesus?
Excuse me.
And none of these are trick questions.
How did I find out about Jesus? Through my father.
Yeah, because everybody.
No, it's cool.
finds
It's
out
cool.
different. So, were you raised a
through my father.
specific denomination?
I was raised a Calvinist.
Okay, but was there a denomination? You can be a Calvinist. Can't you be a Methodist who's a Calvinist? Were you raised a specific denomination?
No.
Okay.
That is the denomination is Calvinist.
It is? Okay. I didn't know, because I know that it's also, to me, it's almost a philosophy about the Bible. And by the way, I actually think it's the only true way to be a Christian, and I'm an atheist, okay? So, I
You're
don't
Calvinism?
understand. If I was a Christian, I would be a Calvinist too.
Ew.
Why? Are you saying, you're a Calvinist?
Well, I'm not a Calvinist, but you asked
Why'd
me if
you
I
say
was
that
raised
you
through
were?
I didn't say I was.
Oh,
I said
you
I
were
was
raised,
raised
but you're not
in a
anymore?
household.
Oh, I would
No, I'm
think
not.
it's the only way to be, because I think you have to.
Why?
Deconstruction.
Why would I have to? Why would I have to?
Because I just think it makes the most sense. That's, to me.
How would it make the
So
most
what
sense?
are you now?
I'm
are
an
you now?
Eastern Orthodox Christian.
Okay. And is that because you it is the oldest and closest to the original people and their original beliefs?
It is because it is the original belief.
That's what I said.
I know. I was agreeing with you.
Oh, it sounded like you were correcting me. I'm like, literally, what I
No,
just
no,
said
no.
is that because it is. I didn't
Yes,
say.
no,
Is that
I was
because?
agreeing with you.
Okay, all right, okay. What made you change?
Calvinism doesn't have any justification for their theology.
Why do you think it doesn't?
How would it have a justification if Calvinism was invented about 500 years
Calvinism
ago?
just basically is predestination, right? That we are
Yes, that's false
predestined.
belief. Yeah, that's false belief.
Well, the Bible doesn't ever talk about free will.
Really?
Can you show me a verse that talks about free will?
Why do I need to do that? Why can't I just tell you, do you have free will?
What are you talking? I said the Bible doesn't talk about free will. You said, really, question mark. And I said, well, can you give me a verse in the Bible about free will?
Why?
You said,
Yeah,
why? What,
yeah,
dude?
but my
What are
question,
you
but my
doing?
question, just using pure logic.
No, sir. It talks about predestination often. So
According
if we
to
aren't
what?
actually predestined, then you have to show me where in the Bible it says we're not, because the Bible says we are.
Oh, just because the Bible say a word, does
Why are
that
you
mean that
talking to me like
everything's
that?
like that?
Why are you talking to me like that?
Like what? I'm
I
sorry.
thought we were having a
I had a
conversation.
piece of
No,
pizza in my
you
mouth,
can
lady.
go fuck yourself, you little
Yeah, you're a
fucking piece of
fat
shit.
bitch.
Here we go again. You
What
guys want to
the
hear the
fuck?
song again? I'm going to play it again just because we're having this kind of a day.
You're up my sentence, call it just a thought. Say you love strong women till you get caught. You want a queen who keeps it light and sweet.
Don't tell me it's not about
Bow
misogyny.
down, little man, and kiss my feet. Yeah, you're misinformed, misguided, mistaken.
This doesn't happen to the guys
And
on
that
this
charm,
app.
boy, I know you're faking. Me with that misogyny. You ain't the man you think you be. Miss me with that hypocrisy. Your fragile ego and royalty. I'm misbehaving and just being me. Miss me with that misogyny.
Hell yeah!
You quote some podcast, call it intellect.
Guest box is
But all I
open.
see is you begging for respect. You rate our bodies, dismiss our brains.
Then cry not all
men
again.
Miss me with your tone. Miss me with your sigh. Miss me with your sweetheart. Boy, bye, bye, bye. Miss me with that misogyny. Don't need your fake apology. Miss me, can't you see? I'm a star.
You're just an extra baby.
Miss me with that misogyny. Misogyny.
I don't know. Yeah, you could have a conversation with me. I start to have a conversation, and then suddenly it's just a crash out. What on earth? I don't know what I can do different.
Was
I
that
guess
one
I
of the
could be
songs you
wrong.
made?
Yeah, that's one.
If you ever have time, can you show me how you do that? Like on Discord?
Sure. Yeah, I'll message you later on Discord.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's just like, give me a break. Well, literally, I am sorry that you're not a Calvinist anymore and that you're an Eastern Orthodox, but you picked the wrong one because the Bible says you're predestined. And if that pisses you off, little man, I'm sorry. Not sorry. He was just a big phony, right? Like, no, yeah, sure. You can ask me questions because I'm the cool, sweet Christian, you big fat bitch. Like what? It's just so weird. Christianity. That is great. I love it. It's true. I really, really could not have handled that different. And I feel like I get the reputation for being like somebody who crashes out on all the men when they're on my live or something. But honestly, I'm sorry. People like the women on this app get treated so different than the men on this app. Just watch Thinker. Just watch Born Again Atheist. And watch Christina Carroll. Rhea. Yeah, watch them. They're not treated the same as the guys. I really was being nice. I was like, I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna let these people. But I think that it actually just shows how people really are. Like, I'm literally just trying to have a conversation, and I'm letting it be about them, and they still show how hateful they are. This religion can no longer spew that they are the religion of love. They are not. They are the religion of hate. And they show it every time we go live. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Steve. Oh my God. That is so crazy. Yeah. They say so many stupid things like that. Thinker isn't as rational as Joel and Mezzo is wild. Those men can't even tell when Joel and Mezzo are mocking them to their face. They don't even realize when Mezzo is drawing a penis based on the words that they're saying. They can't, they're so stupid. Oh my God. Those are the same men who say that stupid shit. It's ridiculous. I know, right? It is so funny. It's so funny. Trying to pull up the YouTube. Oh, there we go. I didn't see it. Hey, Jang. Hey, Jag. Hey, Loopy. Hey, Suck You Bussy. That's somebody's name. That's somebody's name that I just read out loud. That's what I did. Hello over there on my YouTube. Let's check out over there on the Deconstruction Junction now. Now that I've done that, let's see what we got going on over here. Hi, Tilting Windmill. Hello, Alosa. Obachil. I think I said your name right. Hey, Captain. How are you guys doing? Welcome in, welcome in. We're just trying to have conversations this morning. Like, actually, the funny thing is, if you notice, it doesn't even say Christians or believers this morning. Anybody could come up and talk to me. It just says, I'm an atheist. Can I ask you some questions? And so far, just assholes have wanted to come up and a friendly, but the friendly, I don't count him. But the other people have all been just basically assholes. They really are they are telling on themselves for sure. Lowen, you are my co-host today. You didn't come up to like argue with me or or insult me or I don't know. I don't know really what they're like. I think that they're down there like, oh, this lady, she's older and she's overweight. Why does she get to have an opinion? Why can't she go hide in a basement somewhere? Yeah, it's like that. That's why in the song I say, and then cried not all men. Again. I don't know what they're so afraid of. Like, I don't know why you have to be so upset. The fact that he couldn't show a Bible verse where free will is made him so mad. And that meant that he changed his religion for no reason. And I think that made him really mad. And then he took it out on me. Right, Lowen? Like, literally, he was like, wait.
It had to have been.
I thought Calvinism was stupid. What is she telling me? It's the only way to look at the Bible. What? I'm sorry, but... And also, I think Calvinists can be a denomination too, but you can also have that philosophy and be other denominations or be non-denominational. Because it's a philosophy about how to read it. Thank you guys. I'm glad you're enjoying the song over on the YouTube. Please, if you get a chance, go play the video. Maybe tag somebody who is a feminist in your life, who is a strong woman in your life, or tag a misogynist and share that song with them too. I'd really appreciate it. That would be awesome. I'm trying to get all my watch hours up over on the YouTube so I can get monetized. That's all I have left to do is get the watch hours up. And we're getting there. We are on target. I'm not, like I said, I'm not the entertainer some of the other creators are. But I'm a nice lady, so there's that. Hi, La Paquette. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome in. We are just waiting to talk to anybody. Anybody at all can come up. Like, if you just want to come up and let me ask you questions, I will. I would love to. You do not, it does not say what kind of believer, non-believer, anything. You can come up today, talk to me. I just want to know if I can ask you some questions.
While we wait, could I share some stuff?
Yeah, absolutely, Lowen.
I just wanted to share, I think I may have already stated I finished my TMS treatment, but on the 28th, I start a weight loss program, so I'm really excited for that.
That is awesome. I am trying to get on with myself. My husband is, and he is the lowest weight he's been probably since we've been married.
Yeah. I'm debating on if I should do like a TikTok series, but it would definitely be like way out of my comfort zone to like post like my actual, like, I have some TikToks with my face in it, but I don't really have much posted at all. But like, doing something like that would be way out of my comfort zone.
Okay, so here's what you do, Lowen. This is a tip for you. Okay, film it all, but don't post it. Okay. Wait and see how you do. Once you start losing weight, you might go, fuck yeah, I'm posting that shit. I want people to see how far I've come now, okay? And don't post it till you feel that way. Once you feel that way, then you'll know it's time to post it. I did all the filming. I have it ready. I did that, but I'm just going to keep it to myself till I feel like, yeah, I want people to know.
I like that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see, because you're going to do amazing. I'm really excited for you. Tahir, welcome to the panel. Can I ask you some questions?
Yes, please do.
Okay, cool. I really did just want to kind of talk today to whoever like was going to let me, just talk about things, because I think that as we're deconstructing, we all think of different parts of the religion, the Bible, the whole process affects us all differently and stuff. And so sometimes it's just nice to talk to people and see where they came from, and where they're at.
For sure.
So I know we've talked before, but I'm going to ask you like some of the same questions I've been asking the Christians this morning, just so everybody can know who you are and everything.
Okay.
So how did you find out about Jesus?
I don't remember finding out. I just always remember knowing.
So were you raised in a specific denomination?
Non-denomination, I think. Other than once, for a small amount of time, we went to an Assembly of God, but yeah, for the most part, non-denominational.
It's so funny how, as Christians, when we're saying it, to all of us Christians, especially us who have a denomination, non-denomination means you haven't picked a denomination, but if you really think about it, you've literally picked a denomination called non-denomination.
Right.
Right? So it's so funny. But for people who don't know, who aren't Christian, Christianity has many flavors. There are people who broke off from the original church for different.
Oh, I can't hear you for some reason.
Crystal, no one can hear you right now. I don't know if she can hear us.
No, Crystal.
Did you hear my joke?
No.
I
could
said
hear
I
every
was
word you
gonna
were
make.
saying.
I said there are people. I said there are people who believe that you have to be baptized, and they are Baptists. And I said, and then I was going to make a joke who said that there are people who have to use the method, and they're Methodists. Because I was like, what? I forget why people broke off for the other reasons, but they did. Ooh, that's
There's a method to the madness, or so they say.
Yeah.
So, is there a difference between Southern Baptist and Baptist?
Well, yes. The Southern Baptist was formed because they wanted slavery, and the other Baptists did not want slavery. So during the time of slavery, the Southern Baptist Convention was formed in order to fight for the rights of the slave owners.
I was raised a Baptist, but I don't know if it would be considered Southern Baptist or just Baptist. I live in Kentucky.
Yeah, you
I
were
don't know if that's the
probably
difference.
just Baptist, because let me tell you something. My uncle was Southern Baptist, and he let you know that every time he told you his denomination. He's like, I'm Southern Baptist. Like he was like, don't mistake me for Baptist. I am
Can
Southern
you be
Baptist.
Southern Baptist if you're not from the South?
I don't know, because he wasn't from the South. He was from the Midwest, so I don't know. But
That's what I was
that's
wondering.
a good question. That's a good question. Okay, so did you guys go to church? Like, was your family? When I was growing up, there were Christians who we like to call Easter and Christmas Christians. And then there were Christians who actually went to church every week and were involved with their church. Were you guys Easter and Christmas Christians, or were you involved?
Yeah, we were Eastern Christians or Eastern Christmas Christians for sure. It was always a big deal though, like
Yeah.
especially Easter.
Oh yeah, like our friends were like that, and for some reason, even though we went to church every week, it was acceptable to have friends who were Christians who only went on Easter and Christmas, but not for my family. We had to go every week, So
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tahir.
I was just saying no, yeah, that's unfortunate.
yeah, it was.
Yeah. I went to church every Sunday and Wednesday growing up, and my specific church, it was a small church, maybe 30 to 40 people on a good day. Toward the end, though, it got really low. But yeah, we went every Sunday, Wednesday. We had Christmas plays. I was 12-year-old Jesus one year, so that was interesting. Um, but yeah, there was a big thing with people who, like in our church, like they were big on like I can't remember how they word it, but they would talk down on people who only came during the holidays.
Yeah.
Like it was
There
a big
is,
thing.
like, I feel like there's a nickname for those people, but I can't think of what it is. If you guys know what it is,
Yeah,
put it
my
in
church-
chat because
My church definitely had a nickname for them, but I can't remember what it is either.
Like fair weather or lukewarm or neither of those.
No, it was. It's gonna kill me. I don't know. It's
Later at the most random time. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
But,
so you're raised non-denominational, Tahir. Do you remember a time where you felt that you personally needed to ask Jesus into your heart to make sure you were really a Christian?
Yes, that would be when I was 16 and joined that cult in Las Vegas. For sure, I was all in, like at the front of the altar, like begging, pleading. Yeah, for sure. But that was also the same time where I was going to church more often, like the Wednesday service, the Thursday prayer, the Saturday morning or Sunday morning and evening service. And then like that's when I first started actually trying to read the Bible. And then like in like at services, instead of just listening, I would like, actually go to the passages and like read and highlight and underline. Like I was all in. I was for real about it. And then that was the same time that I was really struggling with my sexuality and like was one of those people that was like, crying, begging, like, change me, fix me. Like, I want to be good. I want to be what I'm supposed to be. But like, there's also this other side of me. So like that extreme confusion and,
Yeah. Yeah, that has to be really fucked up. I didn't have that because I'm a straight woman, but I had things going on in my life that were very confusing to me, and I couldn't understand why God would put me through those things. Thank you, Annika. And why, I don't know, why he put you on certain paths, because see, I believed that, right? Like I believed he was guiding my steps, like, because that's what the Bible says, right? So it's got to be even so much more confusing to be in the LGBTQIA community and and believe that this God is God, and also that somehow he loves you, and also somehow he despises you. That's gotta be fucked up. And it's really sad that we do this to our people,
And I, through the podcast and talking to like people who are in the rainbow community is like that kind of, not even just like, I guess multiple people, whether you're in the community or not, like the low self-esteem and self-worth that's like ingrained into you literally does impact how you are as an adult and the way that you see the world and you see yourself and how you interact with people and the things that you accept, because it's so toxic.
I think that was one of my biggest problems as a Christian was I had friends who were LGBTQIA, and I couldn't understand why what they felt was wrong. Because I think that people always, they always box the LGBTQIA down to the sexual aspect of it. But they don't realize it's about love and relationship. It's not
Exactly.
about sex.
Mm-hmm.
And to just, I don't know, squish a person down into such a thing, and I don't know, like you're diminishing them. And I don't know. And just so I remember having conflicts myself, even though I was a straight woman, because I was like, I can't hate these people. I can't do it. I just cannot do it. I don't know if we're not understanding what the Bible is really saying, or if God really, I don't know that God really meant this, so I can't do it. You know what I mean? And I had convinced myself that if this God was real and I died and I went to heaven, that he would prefer that I had erred in the side of love than of hate. And so I was like, I can't do it, so I'm not going to. I'm not going to hate them, and I'm not going to let my children hate them. And thank God. Not
Yeah.
God. Not that God, anyway.
I think
because 2 of my 3 children are part of the LGBTQIA community.
Mm-hmm.
And so had I, and my kids and I have great relationships, and I love them so much, and I respect them so much. They're the 3 best people I know in the world. So I'm really glad that I didn't do that to them. I'm sorry, Loan, you were going to say something.
no, it's okay. Honestly, I think I lost it. Oh no. Hold on. Give me a second. It's there.
Okay, really
Hold on.
quickly, my break is up, so I should jump down because I'm
Okay.
sure a call will come any minute. But it's
Okay,
always
good.
a pleasure talking to you, Crystal. I will be
Thanks
in the
for coming
comments.
up.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so like I was gonna agree with you, because I grew up being gay and being taught that it was a sin, and I couldn't fathom that this all good, all loving God would create gay people and then
Yeah.
hate them for it.
Yeah, it didn't make
And
sense to me.
it just because I would hear people all the time say it's a choice or it's this, it's that, but I knew who I was from a very young age in that aspect. And I knew it wasn't a
people like
choice.
you. I believed you, right? How could I not believe you when you tell me that, right? It was like, wait, but if you ask any gay person, they knew when they were young, this is not something they made a decision about.
Not at all.
No?
I remember, like, I was really, really young. I couldn't tell you the age because I'm horrible with, like, age estimates and stuff. But it's going to sound weird. I was in the shower thinking to myself, okay, I'm gay. And, like, I was sort of, like, self-accepting myself. And then, like, literally the next Sunday, I was in Sunday school for kids, like the kids class. And for some reason, that came up. Why are you talking to kids about that, for one?
Right?
Like, they want to get on us for talking to kids, but
They
they're
do,
literally
so young.
shoving it down our throats in Sunday school that it's a sin. But anyways,
Yep.
besides that came up. And, like, it scared me. Like, I think it, like, made the fear of hell so much more real for me. Like, I struggled with the fear of hell even before that. Like, because I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I'd literally be shaking because I was terrified of going to this place. Like, why teach kids about a place like that? Like, the gnashing of teeth. Like, in my church, it's a eternal lake of fire. It's torture. It's pain. How can an all-loving God create something like that? Like,
I don't know.
It's
that doesn't make sense to me at all,
And then people say that we choose hell over God and all that. It's like, That doesn't even make any sense. It's not a choice at that point.
No, it's not at all.
It's honestly, the fear is the cognitive dissonance. Whoever created this religion, this system, is a genius or was a genius. Like, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
They put in fail safes. They put in think stops. They put in everything. Like, it's almost, it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, and they've used it on us for what, 2,000 something years now. It's time we get rid of this shit, you guys. We need to get rid of this. Anyway, it doesn't matter who you are today. I'm an atheist, and I just want to know, can I ask you some questions? So if you want to come up and let me ask you a few questions. We had a lovely talk with Tahir just now. Tahir is an atheist. She's an ex-Christian. Before that, we had a talk with another friend of mine, and that was an amazing conversation. And then we had 3 Christian men crash out so hard. So hard.
If you'd like, you could continue to ask me questions.
Awesome. Okay, I will do that. And if anybody else would like to come up, the guest box is open for you as well. Okay. So, Lon, what denomination were you? Were you non-denominational?
I was No, I was raised Baptist.
Oh, Baptist. That's right. You're a Baptist. Okay. So, did you have to get fully immersed in water?
Yeah. But it was...
How old were you?
Like, I was young, maybe early teens, but it had to be my choice. Like, I had to say that I was saved, whatever that. I still don't really know what that means. And it was like I think our church, believed that we had to be baptized, but like it had to be your choice at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. When I was a young girl in high school, I met, they get you out there proselytizing at a very young age. In case y'all didn't know that, they do that with our youth. I'm sorry, I'm trying to fix my phone. Okay, there we go. And so I don't know how it happened, but they were probably having me out there witnessing to people my age or something. But I'm very sure that I said to a girl, like, if you come to my church 1 week, I'll come to yours. Because also they want you to like steal people from other churches. I don't know, people. When I think about the things we do as Christians, we're so weird.
I once told a Catholic they shouldn't be praying to Mary, and
Yeah,
I had no idea
okay.
that was like attacked. Like, I had no idea what I was saying, really. But like,
I've done that too. It's so stupid.
Could you imagine like being in that form of Christianity and somebody be like, you shouldn't be doing that? Like somebody coming up to you, you shouldn't be praying to Jesus.
So she told me, I'll come to your church or you come to mine or whatever. Anyway, so we do. But when I go to her church, she was Baptist, okay? They ambushed me and told me that I had to be baptized by full immersion that night, because if I drove home and got in a car accident and unalived, that I would go straight to hell because I had not been fully immersed. And then they bombarded me with Bible verses. I didn't have my mom, my dad. I didn't have nobody there that I knew. And they ended up giving me almost like a panic attack about it. I remember going home crying. I didn't, though. I refused because I was like, I feel like I'm being forced to do something, and I feel like even if I'm supposed to do this, God wouldn't want me to do it because I'm being forced. He'd want me to come to a realization of what he wants. This is not how he would do this, right? Like, I was smart enough to understand that, Luckily, but not everybody's as smart as me. Can you imagine how many teenage kids, they get to just jump in that little freaking tank of theirs or whatever. So anyway, I went home crying and I called my youth pastor and I was like, oh, and I told him and he was like, that is not true. How did the man on the cross next to Jesus get into heaven? Did he get off that cross and get baptized? You know, so he gave me the apologetics for it, if you will. But that's funny that you but I was like Lowen, I was like 11 and I was telling a catechism teacher that you shouldn't pray to saints.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I do. My best friend's catechism teacher. Of all people. Oh, her mom hated me so much. Okay, so did you guys go to church every week? Did we talk about that?
You asking me?
Yeah, did you guys go to church every week?
Yeah, I went every Sunday and Wednesday. Wednesday was like a Bible
Okay.
study, and then Sunday was actual service.
All right. Yeah, we kind of did that too at my church, but a lot of people didn't do Bible study. But of course, I am a good Christian, so I did Bible study. Hey, Shadow, how are you today?
Hello, give me just a second.
By
I just
the way,
had to step outside.
Lilith, it's you over there. Hi, Lilith, over on YouTube, my favorite YouTube mod ever. I'm sorry. So I'm
I had
just
a-
asking people questions today. Did you have a question, Shadow?
Yeah, so if getting baptized is the way to heaven, how come Christians aren't driving around with jacuzzis in their trunks? Because that
Well,
would make
thank
sense,
you,
right? Like
Ashra.
they could
Yeah.
oh,
No,
they could
Shadow,
pull
that
over,
would
be
make
like,
sense.
you get baptized real quick, maybe, yeah. Well, how? Plus, if it's a jacuzzi, like that's good for your back, so that's a bonus. Just zhuzh it up, I guess.
I don't think we want to give him any more ideas, Shadow. Like, now we're
Yeah,
going
no,
to
that
start
was a bad
seeing...
idea. I'm sorry, I take it back.
Now we're going to start seeing freaking monster trucks with jacuzzis in the back of them, with flags on one side, Trump on the other, and the cross on the front of the truck. And I'm laughing, but somebody probably actually owns a truck that looks just like what I just...
Oh no! Oh no! I gotta get back to work. I just had that thought. Okay, bye.
All right, bye. Have a good day, you guys. Shadow, you guys follow Shadow. That's what I meant to say. Follow Shadow. All right. So Lowen, okay, did you like it? Do you remember liking it as a kid? Did you do it because you were supposed to, or did you hate it? Do you remember any of that?
A little bit of all. I had to go. I was pretty much forced until maybe around 16, 17, and then I finally, maybe it was closer to 18 when I finally stopped going. But for the most of my childhood, I was forced to go. Even though my parents didn't go, it was my grandparents taking me.
Oh,
So,
wow.
But
That's a confusing message.
I will say, yeah, I will say, even though, I don't like the religion or anything that it has stood for, I will never trade those moments of spending time with my grandparents, because I became super close to them. Even though they were immersed in this religion, they were still loving. They still took care of me. They still loved me, and so I'll never give up that. If that makes sense.
No. My aunt and my uncle raised me, and I always try to tell people it's very it's a very confusing relationship for me. I think my uncle for sure loved me. I think he loved me dearly. He was not a perfect man. He was verbally abusive. and sometimes, and he allowed my aunt to be very emotionally abusive to me, and verbally abusive to me, and so, but also my life before them was way fucking worse. So there's that. So, like, I love them for who they were and what they tried to be and what they tried to provide for me and what they did with my kids and stuff. But it was complicated because I'm very well aware that they also abused me, and that I didn't deserve that, that I was a child. I was just a little kid. So I get it. It's a weird place to be. They're also the ones who indoctrinated me, and that's another weird thing. But then I went on to indoctrinate my children, and luckily they love and forgive me for that. So you go to church with your grandparents regularly and Bible study. Was there any time in that where you felt like you were called to do something, like be a pastor or be in the music or anything, or serve, like maybe the Lord, if you will?
Not that I can really think of. The only thing that kind of comes close to that, which I don't know if this is exactly answering the question, is I would go to church camp, which I actually absolutely loved. It was amazing, minus the church part, of course. We got to do some really fun things at church camp. But anyways, during one of the services, I don't know if, because at the time I believed it was like God calling me to the altar, even though I was already quote unquote saved at this time. I still had that anxiety and that fear of hell, and I always had that doubt of, like, what if I'm not saved? And then they always say, if you have that doubt, then you're not saved. And I always had that doubt, and so I ended up going to the altar, and people were praying over me, and honestly, that was pretty traumatic in itself, because I don't know, it was just really weird. But I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know, but we don't talk enough, I think, about how much many of us faked things because that's what was going on in the moment, and we had to, or we felt like we had to. Like, I know some people have talked about how they faked speaking in tongues, and they realize they can just, do it, that it's not real.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I ever faked anything. Like, anything like I ever did through the religion, I truly believed was happening, but at the same time, not much ever really happened. I never heard God's voice. I never felt like he was talking to me. I honestly felt like he was ignoring me because I was gay or because I wasn't living up to, quote unquote, his expectations. So I never... So that's another thing, is I felt so isolated because everyone else was talking about all these amazing things God does for them. And for me, it felt like I was being ignored or not listened to. And I felt like I couldn't go to anybody with that, because then they would be like, well, you're not believing hard enough, or you're not being good enough, or all this other crap that they shove down your throat. And so I felt really alone and isolated and all that.
I can imagine. And I don't know that everybody fakes things, but I do think a lot of us have to admit that we faked things because it was the status quo. Like, I don't think I faked the emotions I felt, but I definitely feel that, like, I remember specifically one time where people were acting like the Holy Spirit was taking over them, and they were flailing on the floor and fucking doing a bunch of weird shit. And if you grow up Methodist, you don't see that shit. That doesn't happen at the Methodist church down the street. I assure you, there's none of that shit going on.
I will say that's never happened at my church.
And so
now,
I'm just laughing, right? So that's okay. So I'm laughing because what the fuck? I've never seen anything like this either. And so then a couple of other girls start cracking up with me, And then they told me that I laughed like that because I was drunk in the spirit. And it's like,
Oh my goodness.
I don't think that's why I laughed like that. I don't know. I just don't. I think it's because like Mrs. Wilburson was flailing on the floor like a fish, and she's not meant to flail like a fish. So it was pretty funny.
Like,
But anyway,
I think the craziest thing that's happened at my church, and I wouldn't even consider it crazy, is like, we didn't have any of that, but there was times where people, mostly the men, like the preachers, would get like the spirit, and they would get up and they would have like a mini sermon that lasted maybe 5-10 minutes of them just screaming, and that would always bring. I can't handle screaming. Screaming puts me into a panic, and so every time that happened, I was always on edge.
yeah, there was in the house I grew up in, there was a lot of yelling. There was yelling all the time. There was always yelling, just constant yelling. Everybody yelled. I hated it. It drove me crazy. I did grow up to yell, so like I don't yell like immediately, right? Well, you guys know. You see me. Actually, why am I telling you? If you push me far enough, I am gonna yell. I'm a yeller now, and I wish I wasn't, because I so admire people who don't yell. But that's how I grew up, because they just yelled all the time. Actually, one time somebody. And I don't yell like as much as they really did. They yelled about everything. But one time somebody told me, don't yell for your children. That's like a first start to learning how not to yell about anything, is stop yelling when you want somebody to come to you. Get up, go get them. And now with phones, we could just text and say, can you come in my room for a minute or whatever, and I was like, oh, I never thought about that. But yeah, they yelled our names, they yelled at each other, we yelled at dinner. It was horrible. I hated dinner because we were all going to get in a fight and start yelling at each other. I hated it.
Yeah, I have some stuff with yelling, but I don't really want to get into it at the moment. But
No,
it's
that's
always
okay.
been a
You
trigger
don't
for
have
me.
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can understand. So did you go to college?
I don't know if this. I guess it's definitely considered college, but it was like a accelerated program to be they were called rad techs, so like to operate
Okay.
like the X-ray machines and stuff like that. But I ended up dropping out right before clinicals just because the anxiety got really bad with me. And now I work at UPS Worldport, where I load and unload airplanes, and I make more there than I would have started off as a red tech.
Wow.
So, yeah. College is a scam.
When you went to school, did that affect what you thought about God?
Not really. This during this time, for a long stretch of time, I was constantly going back and forth between believing and not believing, and so it was in that period of time where I kept flip-flopping.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say school itself changed how I looked at religion or God or anything like that.
Sure, but that's proved it out in the CPI data.
Hey, Benny, how are you? He's that good. He is that good, you guys.
Whoa. Sorry, I had another app going on. Hey.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Doing all right. I just was trying to have a more open question today to maybe have more conversations, and it just kind of started off wild. It just really did.
What did I
really
miss?
Did. 3 Christian men just full on crashing out on me. Thanks.
Like about what? Like about treatment of women, or?
Yeah, the first one. Well, so all I've done so far is just ask them questions like I'm asking Lowen, where I was like, so how did you find out about Jesus? What denomination did you? That's it. I've literally been letting them talk, and then they've lost their shit on me and crashed out because I'm a woman.
Weird.
It's so weird. It has been so weird. I'm not even joking.
Your topic is very just like, hey, I want to do this topic sometime because, well, and I have sort of where it's like, hey, you know, what makes a real Christian? Like, I've done that one. I've done like,
yeah. So I just thought
like
if I talked about anything with them, eventually, like, we could, you know, get to something. So one of them, we got to slavery. He was so he said, I grew up a Calvinist. And I said, oh, was there a specific denomination? He goes, that is the denomination. I go, oh, but you could be like a Methodist and still be a Calvinist because it's also a philosophical way of looking at, it's of looking at the Bible or whatever, right? Like it's not just a denomination, right? And then he was like, it or whatever. And I was like, okay, fine, you're a Calvinist. I go, well, I think that's the only real way to believe in the Bible. And he goes, ew. And I go, wait, I thought you were a Calvinist. He goes, no. I said, I was raised as a Calvinist. And he goes, and I said, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot what he said he was now. Oh, he's an Eastern Orthodox.
Ew.
I said, right, that's what I said. No, I didn't do that. I didn't go, ew, okay? I said, oh, and he goes, well, they have no grounding for their belief. I go, wait, why do you say that? Like, I just want to clarify, like, a Calvinist is just somebody who believes that everything is predestined, right? Or whatever. He goes, yeah. And I go, yeah, the Bible tells you that over and over again. And he goes, so? What? I go, why don't you show me a Bible verse where, it's free will? And I don't know, blah, blah, blah became shut up, you fat bitch, or something like that. I don't know.
Sounds like an ortho bro. I
played my song for him.
They always say like, oh, there's no basis for their beliefs. But then when you ask them what their bases are, and they just appeal to the church fathers. And the church fathers
didn't even do that. He didn't even take a minute to do that.
They're like lukewarm
ridiculous.
Then. They're like lukewarm ortho bros.
I think he literally came up just to insult me. I'm not kidding. I think all three of them did. It was like, what? This is so wild. A woman is teaching about, your God and you don't like it or something. And literally, I'm actually letting you be the teacher today. Come up. Let me ask you some questions. That's it. So, Benny, can I ask you some of the questions I've been asking today? You can see how hard they are, okay?
Okay.
All right. Benny, how did you learn about
So I was very young. I was raised Catholic. Seth went to a recent funeral of my cousin's. So he got to experience a full Catholic mass / funeral. And it was a lot of stand up, sit down, kneel. There's a lot of like hand movements and a lot of pomp and circumstance that goes on. Like when I was very young, I was not like an unintelligent kid. I think I was pretty self-aware, which is weird. I remember thinking about like planets and how big space was, like when I was very, very young, and it scared me, but it was also exciting. And I kind of knew about
Happy birthday, Clara.
Happy birthday. I kind of knew about that stuff before I knew about Jesus. So when I was like forming like memories and stuff around 6 years old, I went to the Catholic Church and like went and did my first mass and started doing like the CCD program. And that's when I like learned about this like really scary Jesus character that was up on a cross and tortured. And I didn't quite understand like why that mattered, other than like, oh, we should feel bad for this guy. Yeah, like he was tortured and stuff. But like it didn't compute to me like why they were like worshiping that. I was like, why are you worshiping this gory, bloody like effigy of like this almost corpse? It's scary. Like, why wouldn't you like have like a nice friendly Jesus, like buddy Jesus, you know,
Yeah.
that would make more sense.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm out. You know, I was just right there. Like as a young kid, I was looking around and seeing all the like ritualistic, you know, like Catholic, they all, you know, to you and also to you. And what do they also say? They say so many things that like
Yes.
you have to wait for your cues. Like there's cues that the father will like say in his thing, and then they'll always be like, praise be to God or whatever. And I never like understood or followed along. Like everybody else understood it, and I was just like an outcast. And so, yeah, that's how I learned about Jesus, I guess.
I was told about Jesus since I was 3, so my earliest memory is like I already knew who the fuck he was, okay? Because that was ingrained into me.
But, okay, so your first Jesus, was he the crucified Jesus, or was he like the baby Jesus or something?
Oh, well, probably as a little Christian kid, you identify with the baby Jesus the most, and they always probably talk about like, oh, Jesus was born in a manger and all that kind of shit, you know?
Yeah.
But in the Methodist religion, we did not believe, ooh, thank you, in the, oh, nice. Thank you, bread. W's in the chat for bread. Put some bread in the chat for bread. We believe in the resurrected Jesus, and that is why on Protestant crosses there is no Jesus. On Catholic crosses there is. We do not believe that the unalivement of Jesus has meaning at all without the resurrection. So why leave him on the cross? It isn't his death that did anything. It was his resurrection.
See, I think that's very interesting because like the Catholic Jesus is very much the like Jesus that's up on the cross. He's just, I mean, there are like the resurrected Jesus, like they'll have beautiful stained glass like windows where like the sun comes through and like his halo is, you know, he's glowing and like I saw that, but like my eyes were always focused to this like huge crucifix with a bloody Jesus on it, like behind the pulpit. And that was like my first experience of like, this is what they worship. They worship this bloodied, like beaten figure. And I just like, why would you worship suffering? It just didn't make sense to me.
Hey, real quick, Guerrero, I don't know if I said your name right. I am not actually spreading anything today. I'm actually opening my panel to just ask you questions. I'm asking you like how you found out about Jesus, what denomination you grew up, how often you went to church, and things like that. So we're not really doing anything like that today. If you want to come up and share with us about your story and let me ask you questions about, that's cool. I'm not asking you questions like prove to me your experience. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just listening. Just want to hear. Just want to talk to different people today and learn about their experience. I'm an atheist. I had my own experiences and I want to learn about others. So if you want to come up and talk about it, the guest box is open. You guys, thank you so much for 50,000 likes. I'll be live for another hour unless we reach the gift goal. And if we reach the gift goal, I'll stay online for an hour extra. I have with my friends today, Lowen and Benny. Make sure you're following Lowen and Benny because they're both amazing people. That's why you should do it. So Jesus, is risen for the Methodist people, but
I wanted to say, hold on.
What?
I just wanted to say, like, I'm really thinking about it, and it's like, geez, if I was like raised Methodist, I don't know if I would have had such views that I have now, because I think that was very fundamental to like how I viewed Christianity, where I was just like, I'm out on this like weird, bloody, like blood cult like thing, where if it was just like a nice like Jesus guy that's
he was a nice
friendly
Jesus.
And stuff, I don't know if I would be the way I am now.
Yeah, there was no bloody Jesus. We didn't have to ever deal with that. We weren't supposed to look at all that ugly stuff. That wasn't good for us.
Hmm.
But my best friend was Catholic and I loved her rituals. I wanted to do the rituals so bad. I wanted to do the cross. I wanted a little rosary to play with while I said prayers. I wanted the beautiful veils that they wore. I wanted I wanted the holy water. I wanted all the pomp and circumstance that came along with
Yep. I
Catholicism.
know what you mean.
But I also believed it was wrong. And I believed that it was, idol worship and things like that. So I knew inside like I could not be because I believed a lot of the things they did were sacrilegious. And that I started thinking when I was a kid, Benny, what a weirdo, right? Like I was just telling Lowen, I go to my friend's catechism class and I'm telling him, oh, we can't pray to or for the dead, okay? So you're wrong to pray to Mary, okay?
Oh yeah, and that's a big no-no.
Christians,
Don't say
we
that
were weird.
in Catholics, like catechism. No.
We were so weird as Christians. Like, I'm sorry. I know you weren't a Christian, Benny, but the ones of us who were, we were weird. So, okay, so I've asked you, okay, how you felt about Jesus. I know you were not raised in the church, really, but your mother is religious. Did she go to church regularly?
Oh yeah. Like so, like all of the like little cues and the calls and responses. Like even my dad, all my aunts, because my dad, of course, being Catholic, he had 16 brothers and sisters, and this is in the Midwest, very Dutch, and they all know, like they would all come to the church. And actually, like when I was young, I did go to Catholic Mass quite a bit, to where like I used to like some of the hymns, like Morning is Broken and
Oh
and
my God.
Hallelujah or whatever. And so yeah, like they would all know that, like
How
all of this
great
stuff, but
thou art.
I didn't like. I guess it maybe because I didn't go to like Catholic school, or because I got out so early in age. I just didn't like learn anything other than the peace be with you and also with you, like handshake time, and that's also very awkward. But my mom, yeah, she was, she knew the rosary. She loves. There's like a romanticism that I think goes on with Catholic like religion, just like how you said, like the beautiful, like costumes and like jewelry and like
Yeah.
shiny,
Yeah.
beautiful gold
The
and like
art,
architecture, the
the stained
architecture.
glass windows,
It is. It's gorgeous. It's like
it
breathtaking
is.
sometimes,
It
and
is.
the like big organs that they have like built into the like back of the churches.
The force be with you and also with you. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that one too.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so like that did kind of trickle down a little bit, I guess. I think like I was like a declared atheist by like fourth or fifth grade. I think I was kind of pretty much an agnostic from like 6 years old to like whatever age fourth or fifth grade is. But my parents allowed me to kind of like, just kind of do what I wanted to do. Like I didn't want to go to CCD anymore. My mom's like, fine, you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to go to church anymore. And I think she was, a little overwhelmed anyways, because she was working full time and, raising 3 kids in school, and my dad was working doubles and stuff. So, it's just hard to manage all of that. But yeah, like she still holds on to her faith pretty like liberally now, where she just likes to lean on the idea. Like she likes to lean on the idea of Jesus, and that Jesus is gonna try and make the best for her or whatever. And I'm fine with that. Like as long as you're not like using the religious doctrine to kind of like push an agenda, and you're just like saying, hey, I just really like this guy, he makes my heart feel good. Sure. I really like Dragon Ball Z, you know, and like, you know, Dragon Ball Z characters make my heart feel good. So there you go.
You know, growing up in suburban California, you know, little wasp that I was, I, you know, everybody I grew up with was a Christian of some sort. We were different denominations, almost all of us up and down the street. Like, I don't really, there was maybe a couple. I would say if there was any like group of people that had the predominant, you know, denomination on our street, was the Catholics, and they all went to the same Catholic church, and many of us would go to their church to celebrate like Christmas Eve Mass and stuff, just because of how beautiful it was to have the candlelit Mass and stuff. So, and you know, it was very popular. But I've told this story before. When I was growing up, they always did a carnival every year at the at Saint Irenaeus Church in California, and John Stamos went to that church, and him and the Beach Boys would play often at the carnival, so we would see them at the carnival all the time.
Oh, that's when he was the drummer. Yeah, okay.
He would, yeah, he was a drummer that played for the Beach Boys and stuff. So,
that was when Al Jardine was leading the Beach Boys, and Brian Wilson kind of went off and did his own like stuff. Yeah. See, Brian Wilson to me is the heart of the Beach Boys, but Al Jardine and the rest of the guys, they did have Kokomo. You know, that was a fun song. I'm a huge Beach Boys fan.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I got really drunk over at like Mike Love's house one time, passed out on his couch.
Or no, Mike Love, not Al Jardine. Mike Love is the one that did Kokomo, and he like kind of led it. Yeah. What?
Yeah, and John Stamos was there, and John Stamos had just, it was right before he was on Full House. He was on a show with Jack Klugman at the time. It was kind of like an odd couple, except that it was like him and his grandson were the odd couple this time, you know, or whatever.
Yeah,
and it didn't go well. So, but anyway, he was at that same party, and all the girls were giving him attention but me, and he kind of didn't like that. So he was like coming over trying to see why I wasn't swarming all over him. But, and so he invited me out, but I was like, no, thank you. And my friends all got mad at me for doing that. He wrapped his Mustang around a pole that night, but walked away, luckily. And I also had a Mustang at the same time, but somebody drove me home, luckily, in my Mustang that night. So I didn't drive home.
Who's gonna drive me home?
Yeah,
that's the part. Tonight. That makes me wonder though, like, sorry, I just have to say this. So you could have been like the Rebecca Romaine Stamos. Like, you could have been Rebecca Romaine.
My kids try to tell me that. I'm like, yeah, but none of you would be the same kids, so just think of that. Like, remember, like, you wouldn't exist, okay? So, but no, I don't think I was ever really his type, okay? Because I've seen his type, and I was cute. Don't fucking get me wrong, okay? I was cute, but I was not his type. Not at all.
Well, another thing I was going to say is when you were growing up, church was still like a very big like part of like home living. I feel like people still would like go to church every Sunday. Like even if they weren't really that religious, they would still go to church. Where in the 90s, people, you know, they were like, well, but Simpsons is on, you know. Stuff.
No. Most of the people went to some church, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but we did have friends that we all knew who were Christians who only went on Easter, Christmas, and somebody said on YouTube, and funerals. Okay, but for me, we always said Easter and Christmas because funerals were always held at a church. So Easter and Christmas Christians that we all had friends with and stuff. But my friend, being that she was Catholic and I was Methodist and we were best friends and we both loved Jesus, you know, we would get confused about certain things. Like I remember going to her church one time and they did First Holy Communion and her mom was like, you stay here, do not get up. And she was like so adamant with me and everything. And I was like, okay. And so when I got home, I told my mom, why couldn't I take communion at the church today. She goes, oh, because you haven't got through First Holy Communion. And I go, what is that? And she goes, that's what Catholic kids have to go through before they can take communion, so that they understand, what is going on. I go, but I understand what's going on. Jesus said
The
he
Catholic priests,
commanded us to do this in remembrance of him.
the
Listen to
Catholic
this
priests
little
they
Christian
whisper the
crystal.
spell. They whisper the
Yeah.
spell into the bread, and it turns it into flesh. And that's a big deal, I guess.
I did not like being left out. That made me feel that they were, exclusionary. And I didn't feel that Jesus was exclusionary. And I didn't think Jesus would like that very much. As a matter of fact, I told them, I said, you know what? I really think that what Jesus meant was that anytime we're sitting down to eat, we should be thinking about him until he returns. That's what I think he meant. Nobody listened to me because I was like 12.
That rings true to me though, because I didn't get Holy Communion, and I did go to church every once in a while, even when I got older, and I was not allowed to go up and get the cracker and wine. It turns out I've never in any church have gone up and did the cracker and wine shit.
Oh, well, in the Methodist church, everybody's invited, and you don't even have to get up, because you could just stay seated. They're going to pass it down from the left down to the right or whatever, and you just stay seated, and you'll get your little cracker and your little wine. It's just grape juice.
Well, the church I went to, where I was a lead singer of a band,
Metal, I can ask questions.
that did Green Day covers and jars of.
Wait, you went out for a minute. Repeat what you're saying, because your sound went out for a second.
That was a Methodist church.
Oh.
So that was I did get to experience the kind of nicer side of the more welcoming side of Christianity, and honestly, it was kind of a joy. I really liked the pastor there.
Yeah,
I didn't believe in any of it though.
The Methodist Church is trying to be a very, open and accepting church. And I like that, I guess, But, I mean, if you have to be a church.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking to anybody today. If you want to come up and talk to me, I'm an atheist, and I just wanted to know if you'd let me ask you a few questions. Benny, do you have to take off? Are you taking off, sir? Okay, you'll be right back. Gotcha. All right, here comes Metal. Let's talk to Metal. I'm going to be eating while I talk to you. I'm sorry, my lunch just arrived. Hi, Metal. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. Do you mind if I ask? Oh, first of all, are you over 18?
Yes.
And do you mind if I ask you questions?
No.
Okay, cool. Are you religious?
In a way.
Do you have a god?
I have multiple.
Oh, okay. Is it a pantheon?
Yeah.
What pantheon?
Norse.
How did you learn about the Norse pantheon, if you don't mind me asking?
It's hard to say how I discovered it. I guess the best description would be personal experience.
I mean, the very first time you ever even heard of a Norse pantheon, do you remember how you heard about it? Because I think I heard about it, a Norse pantheon. I didn't even learn about that in school. I did not learn shit about stuff like that in school for some reason. I think I learned about it from my kids, to be honest.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't really know when the first time I was that I learned about the gods per se, of Thor, of Odin, of those gods, but I wouldn't say that I really considered it real at the time that I probably learned about it, or even a real possibility of a real faith, we would say, in today's world. I think I looked at it back then much like I think a lot of people look at it now, which was kind of a novelty, like almost not even a real thing, you know?
Mythology.
Yeah. Nowadays I see mythology differently.
Did you get like books on it or something? What made you start like digging into it? Like when did you start digging into it?
Well, I have always been interested in mythology, but when I was a kid, I was more interested in Greek mythology because I thought it was more interesting for me to look at and learn about. I really didn't dive into Norse mythology ever until I had left Christianity and I was searching for answers. And that was probably...
How old were you?
When I left, or when I started following the Norse gods? When I left Christianity, I was probably early 20s, like 22, 23.
What religion were you raised in?
I was raised as a Christian.
What denomination?
Pentecostal.
Did you, as a child, did you believe in all of that, or did you also question it as a child?
I think I believed the fear. I think I knew I was afraid because of what I was told. I don't think I actually believed it, though, deep down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. Did you have to do things like speak in tongues?
I didn't have to do anything like that, but I seen people do it a lot.
Do you mind if I go grab a drink real quick? Would you hold down the fort for 1 second while I do that?
Sure.
Okay, I'll be right back. I'm just grabbing a drink out of the fridge.
Is there anything? A lot since leaving Christianity, and I think even though I didn't believe it for, like, deep down I didn't believe it, you know, like, but I did at the surface level, if that makes sense, because like it was almost like being a shell of a person, because I was just who I was told to be, you know. And it's like,
yes.
So in a way I believed it, but personally, like, deep down there was some part of me that just knew it wasn't for me. And I think what Christians should know and understand from the backwards perspective of later on in life after being raised as one is, like, don't believe something just because you were told it's the truth, right? Like, all anybody could be certain of is that one day you opened your eyes, you were here on this earth, and aside from things that you have evidence for, you can't really prove anything. And do your research. Like, if you're going to be Christian, then cool, but get to that conclusion on your own and actually read the Bible, because a lot of the things in the Bible is what really steered me away.
So, okay, so you're Pentecostal as a kid. Did you get baptized or anything as a child?
I did not get baptized as a child. I actually got baptized as an adult, though.
Okay.
I got baptized after I became pagan, and then I decided to go back to Christianity, and then I finally left again.
Now, did you choose, or not choose, because I don't know that people choose what they believe. I'm a person who believes you're either convinced or you're not. Okay. So when I say that, I'm saying that colloquially, choose. Okay. The Norse gods, because of your ancestry, are they your ancestors?
They are my ancestors. However, I didn't find that out until actually pretty recently. I've been a pagan for about 6 years, I think, and I only found out about my ancestry last year.
That's kind of cool. That you already, followed the pantheon.
Yeah, I think there's been lots of positive reinforcement on this journey, personally.
That's cool. That's really cool. Was there a personal experience that made you really believe in the pagan pantheon?
There was. I might sound kind of crazy for it, though.
I think that all personal experience can come off sounding crazy. And that's why a lot of people, when they're debating, don't want to bring personal experience into it. But today, I don't want to debate people. I just want to hear their stories and kind of learn about different people's experience. So it's just going to be, I had personal experiences too. I had personal experiences that I was convinced were real as a Christian, that now as a non-Christian, I'm not so convinced about. But I still experienced it, and it can't negate what I lived,
Yeah, so I'll tell you my story for sure. I would like to preface it, though, by just informing the audience, for whoever's listening, take this with a grain of salt, make up your own mind on what you believe. Everything that I say could be real to me, but it could also be it's a very real possibility that all the things that I've experienced are from inside my own brain. It's possible that I read into things or subconsciously see things that don't have supporting evidence, we'll say. But yeah, anyways, it's personal to me, and I think that's what matters to me. But I left Christianity essentially because I reached a point where I just couldn't believe it anymore. I was very fear-based raised, and that was kind of really hammered into me a lot. And I reached the point where I was having night terrors about being judged and the end of the world and just whatnot. But
I'm sorry.
I started to. Yeah, so I started getting major anxiety over this, and it led me to a place where I really had to ask myself the question, if I'm going to believe this God exists, how am I going to believe that he's going to send me to hell for being this person I am? And why would he want me to constantly try to change myself, when we all know it can't be done? So I came to the conclusion, I can't follow that God. I can't believe that. So I went for a couple years, probably maybe a year, maybe two, of just, I would say, agnosticism. I was borderline atheist, but I still had that hope of something out there, So this whole time I'm kind of doing a lot of research on every religion that I can, every theology, mythology that I can get my hands on. I'm doing the deep dive, trying to learn about it, trying to see if it resonates with me, see if something reaches out to me, It doesn't really work for me, and I didn't get any answers. And then I'm well, shit. And I sit around for a while longer, probably another half year or so. And I just didn't do any more research. And I was well, whatever, I guess. So at this point, I kind of am really in that like existential crisis dread place of like just not knowing what to believe and just kind of feeling that lost feeling, you know. And to be honest, like when I was doing all the research on the religions, I still viewed the Norse religion as kind of a just not a real thing to me, you know. Like I didn't even give it the time of day to do the research into it when I was researching all those religions and stuff. But I reached a point where I had given up, and I was basically putting myself out there, my intent out there to the universe to give me an answer, you know, like not to any specific pantheon, specific deity or anything. I was like, I want to know what's the truth and what's out there and what's right for me, you know, and all I want is an answer. So I'm kind of laying in bed one of those nights, and like I'm drifting off to sleep, like between the dream state and the waking state, you know. And I start to get these visions of blue flame and runes, and I would say at this time I didn't know what runes were. It's possible I could have seen them before, and it's a subconscious thing, you know, but as far as I know, I didn't know what they were at the time. And I had felt this presence with me, and somehow I just knew the presence was Odin. So I woke up the next day and I'm like, I don't know, you know, like it seemed really real, but it could be in my head. So I kind of called out to the universe again, and I called out to Odin this time as well. And I'm like, if that was really you, like I need a better sign. Like I can't just take that, you know. And I'm driving into work that day, and the clouds get dark and it starts thundering and lightning. And I'm like, well, that could be coincidence. So I get to work and I'm walking in, and I don't know a lot about Odin at the time, but I know obviously he's like the Viking god and he has one eye, right? That's what I know. So I'm walking in and I get stuck in the eye with a tree branch as I'm walking into the building. And I'm like, okay. But I've had a lot of things like that since, and a lot of things you might consider a coincidence, or you could pass off as a coincidence, but they start to stack up and build, and it's like, I feel like I've seen too much to ignore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember like feeling that way too as a Christian, that I saw so many things it was really hard for me to ignore. So I do remember that feeling for sure. Hey, Devil's Public Defender. Excuse me, I got a bubble in my throat. How are you today? Oh, and I got a bubble right there. Thank you, Petty.
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well. Did you come up to ask a question or let me ask you a question?
I'm here for whatever. I'll answer questions.
Okay.
You can ask me anything you want.
Okay, cool.
I had one thing I wanted to say too, which
okay.
Just off the bat is that you're the best. And I heard you explaining your like exit from Christianity on another conversation, and I don't know, it just really hit me because my mom's still deep in it, and it's like ready to cry. It's beautiful, and the fact that you were like that ready to like take that seriously and do some, you know, heavy thinking about it was really, really great. So.
Well,
just wanted to say
thank
that.
you.
But
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I wish that I knew how to reach people my age, like so I could help some of you deconstruct your parents. And I think by at least being my age and out here talking about it, it could help people my age who are on the fence to start thinking things a different way and knowing it's okay to let go, even at our age. It's not a lost cause, you know what I mean? And it's not a lost cost fallacy. Like, don't use the lost cost fallacy. Don't say that you've spent your life this long and you might as well stay. No, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
That's right.
Free yourself. Okay, here are my questions I've been asking so far. So first of all, it helps me to know, like, did you grow up religious at all?
Oh yeah,
Some people
yeah,
have.
super, super hardcore.
Okay, so
Homeschooled, the
how
whole
did
yards.
you hear about Jesus?
I couldn't begin to nail that down. I was from
That's
before
the
I could
same with
understand the
me.
words, you know, like
Yeah,
it
me
just
too,
always was
right?
there. Yeah.
Jesus, Jesus,
Yeah, I learned
Jesus.
like I said, I was
There's
homeschooled, the
just
Bible was a
something.
subject, you know. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was
yeah.
in that era of moms where everybody started homeschooling. And I had to be real honest with myself and know I would not fucking ever teach them anything. I mean, I would, nothing, like, trust me, I taught my kids stuff all the time. They actually hated how much I turned everything into a goddamn lesson. They're like, oh God, you would be talking about something, and then mom would be like, did you know? Blah, blah. So they probably actually got sick of it. But I knew I couldn't be structured enough to be to homeschool them. So I could not.
It's amazing you were honest with yourself about that, because my mom certainly wasn't structured enough to do that. So
yeah. I could not, and I noticed a lot of women who chose to do that were not structured. They were, you know, I guess they call them granola moms. Now I don't know what the moms that are messy. What are the moms that are messy called? Anyway, that would be me. I would be like, guess what, you guys? We're going on a field trip this morning, and the kids would be like, where are we going? I'm like, I'm going to take a nap. You guys, whatever the fuck you want. So I was like, yeah, that probably won't go over well. I don't think I should be teaching them at home. But when my youngest was in high school, she was having a lot of problems at high school. High school is so much harder than when I was a child, and the parents who don't recognize that are just assholes, okay, because it is. It's a different situation now, and it is harder. When we were kids, we could go home and forget about everything that happened at school that day. But with social media, the children cannot do that anymore. They cannot escape whatever embarrassing thing has happened, what bullies said or did. It follows them when they get home. Okay, so it's different. And when my daughter was in high school, it was really hard for her. And so she asked me if she could, like, they have online school here in California that's absolutely free. By the way, if you didn't know that and you don't want your child to get pew-pewed, California has free online school for everybody. Anybody who wants to go to school at home instead of go to school can do it. So I let her, and I didn't think I'd ever be that mom that would let one of my kids do that. I really thought I'd be like, but I was like, nah, it is hard to go to school these days. I couldn't take the stress it was causing her. Thank you, Trust But Verified Raiders. Welcome in. Tap the screen. I'm talking with anybody today and everybody. We're just asking people if I can ask some questions. I just want to know about, you know, your religion, your philosophy, your theology. I want to know about you guys today. So it's anybody can come up today. Right now, I'm talking to Metal and Devil's Public Defender. So if you want to come up and let me ask you questions, feel free to jump in the box. I do have a gift goal. If you can help me reach, I appreciate it. And as always, I have my like goal, and I'll be ending the live in just about an hour unless we reach the gift goal. So if you can help me out, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, Rosalinda. Good to see you. Welcome in. 3 Pips. Welcome in, everybody. KJ, thank you for liking the live. Okay, so were you baptized then, Devil's Public Defender?
Oh yeah, when I was 9, I remember it very, very distinctly.
Were you excited?
Oh, yeah. I was.
I was so
before I actually was so I wanted to get baptized earlier because I was terrified of going to hell, right? But everybody thought I was too young, and so I was in this like limbo state where I wanted to be baptized. We were full immersion, absolutely necessary people, and so I would have, again, no, what you were saying like really resonated. I had nightmares. Like I couldn't sleep. I thought I was gonna die and go to hell because I hadn't been baptized yet. And yeah, so when I finally got the go ahead, I was relieved, to say the least. So weird to look back on that feeling.
I got splashed on the head as a 3-year-old, but then when I was a teenager, I would get baptized again in Strawberry Creek in Idlewild, California during, church camp, which we called ashram. So, and also we had the belief that you didn't have to be baptized too, because Methodists don't believe that you have to be baptized. And so there would be many altar calls that I would go down to re-accept Jesus, just in case I had somehow dropped him somewhere along the way. I had to, make sure I didn't lose my eternal life. I had to check in every once in a while at that altar and make sure he knew I still liked him.
Yeah, you got your wallet, you got your keys, you got your salvation, make sure, just double check.
Yeah, I just had to make sure. And, it makes you look so good in front of everybody, right? When you get out.
We also didn't believe that baptism was necessary, but I kind of did have that thought anyways. And then when I came back into Christianity as an adult, I was like, I'm going to get baptized because and I thought some profound moment was going to happen right when I got baptized. Like I thought I'm finally going to be filled with the Holy Spirit. I'm finally going to be able to be a good Christian. I'm finally going to be good enough, And I was really nervous leading up to it. And even when the pastor, and it was all really awkward to me, when the pastor grabbed onto me and he's like, do you accept Jesus as your personal savior? Are you going to live your life for him? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
I don't feel it, but yeah. And then I did the thing and I was like, yeah, I kind of got that small endorphin rush for a minute, but then I was like, oh, well. And then it led me to really try hard to be a really good Christian, for a little bit until you start to, slide off the slope again of what Christians consider wrong. And then it all kind of goes back and you're like, I don't know. I thought I was going to feel something finally from that God. And I was always like, why won't you talk to me when you talk to my family so much? But now I see that it's just it's such a cult. They're so indoctrinated that maybe they're not being talked to by somebody out there. Maybe they're talking to themselves a little bit.
They are. Because I was a person that God spoke lots of things to. But also, it would be recent years that I would understand that there are people who have a constant dialogue in their head and there are people who do not. I have a constant dialogue in my head. That's not God. That is not God, okay? And I remember the first time I had to start coming to terms with that was when my son came and told me that he was an atheist, and that was really, I'm sure, very difficult for him because I was lost in the sauce, you guys. I was right-wing, O'Reilly, Sean Hannity, Fox News, right wing. Okay, I was never MAGA. Don't worry about that. That I got out before MAGA, but I could have been. I could have been had I stayed in it longer. But my son came to me and told me that he didn't believe anymore, and I was like, oh my God, he thinks I talk to an imaginary friend. Oh my God, that means that he thinks I'm crazy, So I was like, what about all those times I came to you and I told you I had a word from the Lord for you, and I told you really, and these things were good or they came true or whatever, and he's like, Mom, you're just like really smart and you don't give yourself the credit. You just give the credit to God. And I was like, what? Wait, what? What are you saying? So, and then realizing that I had that narrator voice in my head, I was like, oh, okay.
I can never take credit for anything that I do. You know, like when I talk to my family, recently I try not to like be mean to people, especially my family. Like my grandmother is insanely religious. But it's not her fault, you know. She was raised that way, and she just is so far gone now that it's, you know, it's better to just like smile and like, yeah, okay, you know, and just go along with what she says. But sometimes it's hard, and like she said something to me recently of like, think about how far the Lord's got you in your life, and I'm like, I got me here. I'm not letting somebody else take credit for all this stuff that I've been through, all this stuff that I've done. And she would like, you know, always tell me the Lord speaks in a soft voice, and I'm like, that's because nobody's talking to you. That's because it's your head.
Wait, that's so funny. The Lord speaks in a really soft voice. Grandma, that's the wind, okay? That's not a voice. No. Oh my gosh. As I just think about what I was like as a Christian, we're just goofy, you know?
I can't be mad at her because I know she's just trying to do what she thinks is best for me, you know? It's really sad, honestly, when you think about it, because I think like you have one life to live, right? And this is a person that's just devoted her life so strongly to this ideology that she never really lived. You know?
Yeah. It's a true statement.
Absolutely.
Specifically for women, this ideology holds us back in so many ways, and it's all the Abrahamic religions specifically. And I'm not saying there aren't other religions. I really hate, because I don't know every religion. Bitch, there's thousands of religions. I cannot remember them all, but I know about the Abrahamic religions, and I know what they teach, and I know that they teach that women aren't shit, and I know that a lot of women give up hope and aspiration and dreams that they've had. They do not use their talents to their fullest. They bow down to men and succumb to the pressures that are put onto them by their male counterparts and their male co-workers and so forth because of this fucking book. Like, I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah,
it drives
it's like
me crazy.
It's all part of that, like, the really big, terrible lie of it all, right? Like, this life doesn't really matter when it's really all you've got. You know?
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing is based around giving up this life in exchange for something later. And it's... yeah.
Yeah, it's like
you really gross.
Do the thing your whole life. By the time you're too old to actually do anything with your life, you know, and then you realize it's all a lie, and you're like, I wasted my entire life on this shit, you know?
My favorite quote happens to be written by a Quaker, which is funny because eventually I became a Quaker, and I've shared this many times, but I like to take an opportunity every now and then to refresh everybody's memory about this quote because it's literally one of my favorites. It's by Stephen Grillet, or Stephen Grillet, Grellet, and he wrote, I expect to pass through this world but once. Any good, therefore, that I can do, or any kindness I can show to any fellow creature, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again. And that's kind of like the way I like to live my life. I only get a chance at this once, and I want to do as many things to bring joy into people's lives as I can and help them and do as little harm as possible.
Yeah, so with my belief system, you know, I have a possibility of going to many different halls of afterlives, but one of the most important foundations of our belief is that like it really matters what you do here while you have the time here. Like one of the things that's really important is like how you react to situations, how you face adversity, and kind of like the honor system, you know. And so like the values that I take out of my faith that I have now, it's like whether or not it was true, it would still be who I want to be and still be the values I want to live, you know? So it's like a no loss for me. But I would point out, like, even though I'm where I am now today, like, it doesn't change the years of fundamental brain development that I was indoctrinated into this thing, you know? And so, like, even today, like, I 100% have seen the lies, have seen the exposure of the Bible, and, like, there's no doubt in my mind it's false. And I actually believe my beliefs now, but I'm still deconstructing, right? Like, I watch, I don't know if you've seen it, Deconstruction Zone on YouTube and
he's
TikTok.
a good friend of mine. Yeah, he's my friend.
I watch him almost daily.
He's amazing. We love Justin.
But like, I think you never like escape that fear completely sometimes, you know, and like as much as, and I've learned a lot from him. He's awesome. Not only do I want the information like to solidify my own beliefs, but like also I feel like I can never be left alone, and like I can't talk to a lot of my family, right? Because I don't believe they're God anymore. And
right.
My uncle actually just kind of almost cut ties with me, and he's one of the only people I've ever been able to talk to, but he's facing some issues and he's getting a little bit more thinking about death right now, and he's kind of doubled down on this whole thing. And he said something the other day that was like, well, if you don't like the Crusaders and you don't like the Bible and this and that, then you don't like me. And I'm like, why can't you guys understand that we can believe different things and still love each other? Like, it's like you have to believe it as I do, or I don't want anything to do with you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what they're doing to our whole fucking country now. They're like, you will believe like we will, because we're going to try to force this on you at every chance we can and every road we can, starting with your children, and we're going to move it into every aspect of your life if we can, which is ridiculous because they tell us that we're supposed to have free will while they continue to take away our free rights.
It's like, I just want to be left alone, but I can't escape it, right? Because like even today at work, like, because I live in the Bible Belt right now, so like everybody did a prayer, and just like by assumption just had everybody pray with them, right? And I'm like standing there, I refuse to take my hat off, I refuse to bow my head. And somebody said to me, they were like, I find that if you're respectful of other people's beliefs, they're more likely to be respectful of yours. And I'm like, no, this has nothing to do with respect. Like, I'm not asking you to come over and do blots with me to Thor. Like, you're trying to force me into a prayer circle to pray to a God I don't believe in.
Yeah, it's very weird, and they would not accept it from anybody else. If a Muslim started prayer and asked everybody to join them, they would be like, fuck no, I'm not joining your prayer. They wouldn't even think twice, and they would probably be belligerent about it, you know. So let's get out of here, you know. No,
but it's not okay for me to not bow my head, though, right? Like, it's insane. So but it's like, you know, how much anxiety I've worked through to get to the point I'm at, and then I have to be like roped into these things in public, you know, like, no.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous.
Oh, good on you for not giving in.
Yeah, really, for sure. It's not always easy to enforce our boundaries with people. It's something that I'm, you know, I'm so old, and I still have trouble sometimes, you know, with telling people like, no, you're going to respect my boundary here. It's difficult, especially if it's family or a friend, you know, because people get
it's also it's hard to
insulted
know.
that you want them to respect your boundaries. You know, they get insulted. They take it personal.
It's really hard to know how to make the right decisions too, as far as like, you know, I still love my family, of course. But, you know, like I have a kid and I'm trying very hard to not influence her on what faith to follow. I don't want to have that influence over her like I was influenced, you know. I don't want her to ever have to face that kind of anxiety, and I want her to just kind of come to those conclusions on her own. But you know, so I don't even go visit family anymore. I don't go back home, and it's like when I think about it, it's like I would like to because I want them to see her and know her, but you know, when I'm not around, are they going to start talking to her about Jesus, or are they going to be taking her to church behind my back? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and they do not respect boundaries. That is one thing Christians do not do. They don't have to because their God doesn't. Their God doesn't respect boundaries, and the Bible teaches you that the boundaries don't apply to you. So they don't know how to respect them.
Right, because they think that they're saving somebody from the evil that I'm leading her into, you know?
Mm-hmm. They think they have to do it at all costs.
It's quite the narrative, and I would say too, like, if you are a Christian and like you're questioning your beliefs, like, I can't even express how crazy it is when you get to the other side and you're just like, yeah, there's nothing evil about this. Like, just not being a Christian, it's not evil, it's crazy.
It's a weird sensation, isn't it, if you grow up in it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because when you're growing up, you know, you're taught to believe that everybody outside is kind of the devil, or they're evil, even if they don't know it, and you have to be really careful about like being around those people, communicating with those people, because they might get you. You know, it wasn't until later when I left on my own into the world that I started to see the good in people that had different beliefs. And like one of my best friends was a Satanist, and that was one of my biggest eye openers, because like I was afraid to even like talk to the guy at first, you know, and then we became like best friends, and then we became roommates, and I'm like, holy shit, like at first this is gonna sound horrible, but at first I was like, oh my god, is he, you know, I'm a little bit nervous about this guy in my house. Is he gonna sacrifice me in my sleep? Of course I learned a lot.
No, that's the Christians who are into the human sacrifice, not so much the Satanists.
Yeah, of course I learned a lot since then. And I learned a lot during that time too. And it's like, by the end of it, I was like, oh, I fucking love this guy, man. He's not evil. Like, and there's nothing wrong with his beliefs either. Like, once I actually found out what they were and like how they were applied to life and stuff, I was like, that's not really bad. And then I started to learn even more about like the Bible and how I'm not super into the whole theistic ideas of Satanism or whatever, but the Levian is like kind of like serve yourself or whatnot. But even when I do read the Bible, like I still see nowadays like Satan seems more like the good guy. I would be more inclined to believe of the story, you know.
He's just a pawn most of the time. Like, he only can do whatever God tells him.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like he can do anything without God. So I don't know why people think he's so bad. Like, he's nothing. And they give him all the power in the world now. Like anything good is from God. Everything bad is from Satan. This God has no power. He can't do miracles anymore. He can't talk to us anymore. He can't do anything anymore. I don't know why. He just feels very impotent to me.
Yeah, I think either he's not real, or if he is real, I think that he's a lesser god that all the other gods kind of hate, and he's real salty about that and takes it out on people.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't even remember what's the last question I asked either one of you. So I know how you both found out about Jesus and what churches you were raised in. I know that metal is now pagan. Devils, when you deconstructed, about how old were you?
That's a good question. It was a long process.
Are you guys in the Deconstruction Junction Discord?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, if you're not, get in there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I saw a lot of cracks as a kid because I read the Bible a lot, but I kind of pushed it down because I was, scared. And so I tried so hard to believe because on a core level, I was super indoctrinated. And so I believed on some visceral level, and then there's kind of a mid layer, where all the stuff actually doesn't really make a lot of sense. And I'm just trying to shove that all down so I don't go to hell, right? But so it happened kind of slow for me, but probably 4 or 5 years ago, I actually really, really hit a point where I was like, I do not everything just kind of clicked, and it was like the whole thing just shattered for me, and all the last vestiges of it went away, and it is the best feeling I've ever experienced, honestly.
When I have to say, when I first deconstructed, well, first of all, let me start with, I have mental illness. I have bipolar disorder 2, probably ADHD, and I'm probably on the spectrum. I probably got it all, okay? And, I say probably because I just feel like it's ever going, trying to get a correct diagnosis, and you just work on it your whole life. It just sucks. And it's probably mostly because insurance sucks and it's hard to get a good psychiatrist, but whatever. I digress. So that being said, when I realized I didn't believe anymore, because it was more of a realization bitch, you don't even believe this anymore. This isn't even real anymore. Stop, I sunk into depression. Now, there was a lot going on. I had a lot going on at the time and stuff, but I did sink into depression, and I think that was part of it, because I had a best friend in my head, and now I realized it was just me. And that was weird. And I now had no more eternal life, and that was weird. And I knew I was going to lose an entire community, and that was weird. And then I realized I kind of want to lose a lot of that community because I started to realize who they really were, and that was weird. So I went through a depression for a while, and then I got on TikTok, and as I was coming up out of the depression is when I found the deconstruction community on here. I found Joyful and Skits and Bits and Justin, and I met all those guys, and then Benny started the Deconstruction Junction Discord. And when I first met Justin Metal, oh my God, I thought he was a fucking liar. I was like, look, I get it that Jesus was a God, and I don't believe in a God anymore, but come on now. Jesus fulfilled at least a few of those prophecies. And then I went and looked, and I was like, oh my God, he's right. He didn't fulfill any of them.
It's funny because I had to do some of my own fact checking because he has got so much stuff that he's noticed that kind of just flies under the radar when you're not thinking about it actively enough, and it was the same thing, the prophecies. I'm like, really, not a single one? And then I had to go back and look and stuff, and but no, it's funny because I watch his streams pretty much daily. Every time he's live, I usually have to watch him, when I can. But a lot of time I have to drive a lot, so I'll put him on my Bluetooth and listen. But my wife has gotten, it's kind of funny. My wife is to the point where I ask her, hey, do you mind if I watch the Deconstruction Zone stream when we're going to bed, trying to catch up and stuff? And she's like, no, at this point, because she watches documentaries and stuff to fall asleep. So she watches like Mysteries of the Bandit or whatever, and she's like, no, at this point he's like one of those voices I fall asleep to.
He does. I fall asleep to so many of our creators. It's ridiculous. Like the other night, I was so happy because Joel is back with Mezzo, and I need that for my dopamine. Okay, people, I don't care if I'm a little addicted. Helps me. Anyway, and so I fell asleep listening to them. I was like, yes, I love falling asleep listening to some of my favorite creators. I've fallen asleep to Thinker so many times. I've told her this before too, like when I've talked to her. I've fallen asleep to Thinker, and then in the middle of the night, she'll start chewing somebody's ass out, and it just wakes me up. Like, what's going on? Oh, Thinker got a mog online that she's yelling at. Hi, Archbishop. How are you today?
I'm so well and so glad to see you on here doing your thing. You are such a joy to watch, and I love checking in daily. Anytime.
Do you mind if I ask you some? Do you mind if I ask you questions?
Of course you may. I'm glad to answer them.
Okay, so you guys, I'm going to be live for about 25 more minutes unless we reach the gift goal. If we reach the gift goal, I'll stay live for another hour for you guys. But right now, if anybody can come up today, I just want to ask questions, get to know people. You could be a believer, non-believer. You could believe in something, anything. I don't care. I just want to talk.
I
Archbishop.
hate to do it. I've got to run, so thank you so much.
Thank you. It was
I really
so
appreciate
nice of
it.
you coming up. Thank you.
Yeah, great to
Devil's
chat.
Public Defender. You guys make sure you give Devil's Public Defender a follow. Thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you. Have a good day.
Thanks. Take care.
You're the best. I thought of you last night. We were on Born Again's live, and I just thought if we had Mezzo and Joel, they're helping her.
I loved it. I
know.
It was so good.
All we need is Crystal up there. That would be for me the trifecta.
That would have been so fun. It was so fun watching the three of them. Oh my God, I love it. It was amazing. Yeah.
They're a great counterpoint to each other, aren't they?
They really are. They really are. It was a lot of fun. And even after Mezzo left, I listened to Joel and Born Again. Gosh, thank you so much. Devil's Public Defender, thank you. I appreciate it. I will be staying live an extra hour. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I got to hear the show, but I was falling asleep. I'm old. I get tired. I'm a West Coast girl, and I can't stay up as late as y'all do. I don't know how you do it. But I'm asking just some real simple questions today, okay? So, Archbishop, what religion or denomination did you grow up as?
I grew up as in the same as Born Again. We were independent fundamental Baptists.
Now, I've heard that's like a cult.
It is, and I fared on a little bit of the better side because I was born male. If you're on the other, you're it's going to be more difficult. But to their credit, we had to read the Bible, so we did leave the cult well versed in the Bible. I will say that much. There was no lukewarm. You couldn't be lukewarm. So, and then the great liberality and rebellion of my teenage years was going to the Methodist Church. And I
love that.
I came back with it.
That is not rebellious, just so you know.
I know. I came with a non-King James Version Bible, and I got grounded for a month.
Oh my goodness, you rebel. You little rebel.
I know, it was downhill from there, all the way to atheism. Funny. And so...
Oh my God.
What did you grow up in, Crystal?
I was Methodist.
You were Methodist?
Yes. I grew up Methodist. And so what I was going to ask is, do you remember, because you grew up in the church, like you were probably like me, there's not a time where you didn't know who Jesus was, right?
That's right, from the very beginning.
Yeah. So so I was asking people if they remember like how they found out about Jesus, but if you're indoctrinated into it, it's just instilled in you. Like you're saying your prayers when you first learn how to speak, you know? So like we always said, God is great. God is good. Let us thank him for our food. Amen.
And now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to take.
My mom wouldn't let us say certain things on that prayer, so we had to say it like this. We had to say, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. This I ask in Jesus' name. Amen. We skipped the whole part about if I should die before I wake. And I was an adult before I found out that was part of the prayer.
Yeah. No, they taught us, we had to learn the straight one. And I thought, oh my God. And I would think every night, is this the night? I thought it was a really probable thing.
Right? Me too. When I found out what it was, I was like, I'm never letting my kids say that either. I was like, no wonder my mom didn't let us say that. That's a horrible thing to say right before you go to sleep as a child. If I should die, what? Yeah, that prayer would give me nightmares too, Rosalinda. So I have to thank my mom for not making me say that part of the prayer. So you grow up and you're in this cult.
Yes.
Now, what makes it feel more culty than any other Christian culty feeling denomination? What do you think makes it more cult-like?
Ooh.
Because I've heard it from everybody who has ever gone there. Because born again atheist, you God dang it, there's somebody else. Oh, Life Beyond Belief. She was too, Chris.
Oh.
Yep.
I think in the sense that they had a very firm sense of that their way was the only way of looking at the Bible in the world. That you had to know if a Catholic came up to you, you had to know why they believed what they believed and why they were wrong. The same way with all of them.
Oh, wow.
From the very beginning, you had to be able to tell people by verse why they were wrong. And that is probably what feels most cult-like to me, I would say. And the Methodists seemed so laid back. Like there was a woman pastor, and I thought, whoa, what is happening? And it was about love and mother, I was like, oh, this is great. So
when I was growing up, it was the 70s, and I was a teenager in the 80s. And I would say that there was, a division in the church as to women's place in the ministry. And obviously we had very, strict men who thought that women shouldn't be. I grew up in a very, very confusing house because my mom made you think that she was a feminist, but then everything she showed you showed that she was part of the patriarchy. And so I was like, what? Because we had to wear dresses. Mom, that's not feminism, okay? I hate to tell you, if you're forcing me to wear a dress, you're not a feminist, okay? And just things like that. So she would always tell me, you could be anything you want to be. And then she made sure, my brother had what he needed to get to further his education, and my sister and I, nothing. Nope. Whoops. Forgot about those two, So I think she just came in an era where she started to realize how unfair things were, but I don't think she could push past the patriarchy and really see the internal misogyny that she was dealing with,
I see what you're saying. That makes complete sense. I haven't seen this gift. I'm sending you a gift. I want to just... yes!
Oh, that is so cool!
I love it.
You.
Oh, that was cute.
That is so cool. That was really cute. I love it. I'm going to screenshot that later. That was adorable. Yeah, I think that it happens with some moms. And so, she would... she was always like, I am really fair when I give you guys gifts. I'm really, really fair. So I was like, I just believed her. I just believed that was true, that she'd never tried to give my brother more than me or my sister. I never counted or added. I never calculated. I just saw that I got great gifts, and she was very, very nice, and she gave my sister great gifts, and she gave my brother great gifts. But when I had kids, Oh my God, the shit she would send my son compared to what she would send my daughters. I was like, what are we fucking doing here? So she would sometimes send money, and she would send like a lot more money for my son than she would send for my daughters. Their birthdays are all in the spring, so she would send them all about the same time. And I finally just said, I told my husband, I'm going to intercept these and we're going to divide the money up evenly between them. I don't know if that's the right thing I should have done now. I don't know what I should have done. I hated that she did it. I felt like she put me in a weird position. Why are you doing that? Why are you sending my daughters that message? Children don't know not to equate money with love when that's all they see from their grandparents is money. They
Good
equate
point.
those two things.
Good point.
To me, it sounds like you definitely did the right thing.
Yeah,
That's-
I feel bad
I
because
think
then I
that's
think,
exactly-
did I do the right thing by my son though? Like it was, like in a way I took his money away and gave it to his sisters. And I don't know if that is actually the right thing either, but I was just trying to do the most fair thing in my mind at the time because I didn't like the message that was being sent to my children.
I mean, it could have been, beneficial for your son as well, I would say, because, like, what message would he have gotten to realize that he was always getting more than his sisters as well, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Hey, we've got somebody joining us up here. Hey, professional, how are you?
Hello, good. How are you?
Doing well. Did you come? First of all, are you over 18?
Yes, I'm 37.
Okay. And did you come up to add to the conversation, or let me ask you questions?
I was going to add to the conversation.
Cool.
I personally, I don't have kids. I mean, of course, I have grandparents, so I could relate a little bit, halfway there. But I can't relate as a parent because I actually date a trans woman. I'm a little jealous because she actually has a bigger cock than me. But aside from that, I don't know. It's kind of a tough dilemma. It's up there for debate. I think that when you're a parent, you just got to do what you feel is right in that moment.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I tried to talk to my mom about it. I was like, what? And she was like, but he's older. And I'm like, do you really think that children who are 2 or 3 years apart in age understand that? Like, what part don't you get that they're not understanding what you're doing here? That they're not seeing it that way. They're seeing him get a significantly larger amount of money than them for the same thing, their birthday. And that's all
Yeah,
they
just see it. Yeah, they just see that it's a bigger number. Like like the same way I look at my girlfriend and her massive cock is so much bigger than mine. I mean, it's like a Pringles can.
Over and again?
It's like a Pringles can.
Why are you saying that over and over again?
I'm just trying to compare it. I mean, compare the situations. I feel like it's the
Did
same
you come
thing.
up here to just make trans jokes?
No, I'm dating a trans. Why would I make trans jokes?
Because I've never met somebody who dates a trans person who comes up and talks about their genitalia inappropriately in front of a group of people nonstop.
I mean, have you seen a Pringles can before? It's not like the little ones at the gas station. It's the kind that you get
professional
at
help,
Walmart.
okay,
I mean,
Pumpkin?
it's gigantic.
You need professional help.
Indeed.
If you want to have a legitimate conversation, the guest box is open. If you've come up here to make jokes at the expense of the trans community, you can go fuck right off, okay? Thank you.
I love Crystal. You're so good at handling. You're so good.
Thank you. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? Like when he first said it, I thought, okay, maybe he makes a little joke, whatever, right? But when you are gonna hammer that home, obviously you're just up here to be a dick.
That's right. I thought of you last night because there's a guy debating. His name. He's a Southern Baptist pastor. He's on the lives, and he rubs snuff while he's broadcasting the live. And a wonderful man, of course. And he has a post that says, "I think I'm going to become more extreme in my religion." I was like, "Where's Crystal?" I was like, "I'd love to see her." can't cook this guy.
God. Oh
He
my
he
God.
he
Sometimes
got
I cannot help myself, huh?
I know exactly. And I must say, his name is Jethro, by the way. Could there be any more
Wait.
Southern Baptist name?
No way. That's so funny. I don't know, Holly, how you ended up here, but you know you're always welcome to come up and join me. We have Emma coming up to join us. Hello and greetings from Sweden. How nice.
Emma, my friend, welcome.
Hi,
thank
Emma.
you. Hello and greetings from Sweden. My name is Emma. Nice to meet you guys.
Very nice to meet you too. So did you come up to add to the conversation, or are you going to let me ask you some questions?
You can ask me anything. I don't mind.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. So first of all, did you grow up with any religion?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
What religion did you grow up?
In Christianity, but it was not my choice. It was forced.
Were you Lutheran?
No, no, I am not a Lutheran.
What were you raised? What denomination were you raised?
Well, in the Swedish church, I think we are, how to say, how many different, maybe Lutheran, I don't really know, but it was not like I was there. I was also in a free church as well. I was forced to a free church as well. So, but I think it was more Protestant. We are more Protestant in Sweden.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, my mother is Swedish, and she grew up Lutheran because a lot of the Swedish people who grew up in there's like a group of Swedish people who grew up in a place called Ohio. It's I can't think of the name. Anyway, it's a little town in Ohio, and she grew up there, and they are all Lutheran there. Do you remember do you remember the first time you learned about Jesus, or did you just kind of always know about Jesus because you were taught since you were like a little child?
Well, I was baptized in a Swedish church, and then I was not much in a church after that, and then I was in a foster care family that forced me to be in a free church. And
got you.
It's different than the normal churches, because in normal churches you are going there for your very own free will. There are no brainwash, nothing like that. Yeah, so but I had bad experience of Christianity, very bad, very bad.
And I was going to ask Crystal, Emma, so Church of Sweden would be your more liberal, do your own thing church, and the free church would be the conservative, more brainwashing.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that right?
Yeah, because some free church, most free church are like a cult. So Pink Church, it belongs to the Swedish church, but some of them are more. I don't know how to say it. It's like middle of the line between normal Swedish church and free church, and
more moderate.
Yeah, and and Blessing Army, or whatever they call, they are one of the free churches, like Jehovah Witness is also part of the free church as well.
We have a question from chat that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but they do want to know, is your dress in your profile picture hand knitted? Oh my gosh, thank you, Archbishop. Because they love it. They love your dress in your photo.
No, this one is from a store called Indiska. That have inspired dresses, skirts, and things from India, like teacups and things like that. And I'm fascinated because in the older days, like now, in my older days now, it's like I can mix the Christianity religion with the secular religion. So I have both, and so I'm feeling more safer. I'm still a Protestant, but not entirely Protestant. I'm not like those people that are going to church every single Sunday, but I can go to church for wedding, or if or something like that, but baptize or
do you go on Christmas? Do you go on Christmas?
No, my foster care parents doesn't go on Christmas, and we don't either. So yeah, because I am I am a type of soul that believe that the universe or cosmos, our creator, is everywhere. So it doesn't matter if it's a church or not, it's everywhere.
Metal or Archbishop, if you guys have questions too, or if anybody wants to ask each other questions, you guys can too. I think this has been fascinating to hear everybody's stories today.
Yeah, come on, but just ask me.
I asked Emma. Yeah, I spoke to Emma about an hour this morning, and she showed me different places about Sweden and about the languages, and she speaks many languages, and lives in a beautiful town by the sea with beautiful flowers everywhere. And so Emma's a joy. And we had a wonderful panel, Crystal. We had a Swede, a Finn, a Canadian, 2 Americans, and a guy from Greece, a doctor.
Wow.
And wonderful interactions. And by the way, everybody believes something different. But if you find the thread, you can have a civil and learn from each other.
Thank you.
It was wonderful.
Thank you for saying that I'm lovely. It truly means a lot. Thank you, and thank you, Creative. Oh my gosh.
Oh, my friend Creative Camper is Emma's friend too, and Creative Camper is from Switzerland.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I have new friends. Today have been magical.
That's wonderful.
Creative is wonderful. She's originally from Brazil. Her parents adopted her. They lived in Kentucky, of all places. Moved to Switzerland. She studied in London and also lives in Switzerland now and has a beautiful accent of all sorts of languages and cultures. And she's just a wonderful person as well. And so glad you're here.
And Terry, you're cute. So just so that you know, you're a cutie pie. Everyone is cutie pies here.
Yeah, Crystal's the
Tyre
best.
is adorable. Okay, so Archbishop, Okay, let's go back to you for a minute, Archbishop. So, you grew up in this cult, and when do you start deconstructing? Do you go off to college or something? Now, just so you guys know, I am not college educated. I just like to read. I did not get my college education, but I envy every single one of you and live through you vicariously, okay? All of you who went to college. So did you go off to college and did you start to deconstruct there, or was it before? When was it?
I held on for a very long time. I went to Methodist college. I stayed with the heretics. And but by the way, people, I want to point out, Crystal, you know the Bible better than anybody. You are a true scholar of the Bible. And
well, thank you. I like to read.
You
so
do.
I do my best, and I like to listen.
I came to atheism through the new atheism with Christopher Hitchens and all of them. When they started debating and seeing the performativity of how he would get up there and just own every Christian that they debated. Debate after debate, Christopher Hitchens would just, so he was very inspiring to me. He sealed the deal. But then I went to seminary because I said, I want to make sure that I know what is going on here. And I'm in my final year. And while I still do not believe, I think the Jesus story alone is worth stealing back from the fundies. They don't deserve to lay a claim on what Jesus's message was. There is more time in the universe that people were talking about a guy named Jesus than there ever was with this horrible book. You think about it, before things were written down, before it got into the water supply, people were telling stories about a dude who said something about, who cares if I healed a man on the Sabbath? You can't see as God sees. Don't judge people, but, don't talk about the speck in your neighbor's eye until you take the log out of your own. Things like that. Nobody gets to lay claim to that. And so that's, I guess, the end result of going to seminary has been for me, it's a story worth taking back. And while the Bible is problematic in almost every page, is terrible in many respects, it's what we were born into, Crystal. My hometown is West Virginia. We have 50 United Methodist churches in a town of 30,000 people. And the reason we have 50 is because Emancipation Proclamation split the churches. So literally half of them that liked the black people went literally down the block. And then the other half stayed. And that was a split. And now we have even more because of the gay issue, the LGBTQ. So I was born here. If I was born in India, maybe I would be, I love the Hindu gods, by the way. I think they're so neat and what a neat mythology. But this is what I know, and I just thought it was a story worth salvaging. You know what I mean? Let's steal it back from,
That's really interesting.
It's not that I would say, and I wouldn't say that I have any claim to understanding about it just because I went to seminary. Absolutely not. There are many more people, much more educated, have read the Bible more clearly than I have. But you know what? So yeah, I just like to say we're taking it back, and no, you don't own it. Plus, some of us have to work from within it, because I train as a church musician and in sacred music as a pianist and organist, and the only place there are pipe organs, I hate to say, are in churches. So
it's true. My church had a big, amazing pipe organ. I forgot about that till you just said it, with the pipes going all through the wall, like behind it and stuff. I just remembered that thing had so many pipes.
That's right, and that is where I touch base with what my calling in life was. I felt was in music, and name another place you can get together with people and sing in a group for an hour or two a week. There's
come over and get elevated at my house. I'll sing songs.
All right, baby.
We can do show tunes. we'll do some show tunes.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I would love to. I'll be in California right now. I used to
We can
live in
have
the
some
Bay
fun.
Area. I loved California when I was out there, and I wish I could still be there.
Yeah, I do. I do love California. I lived in the Midwest for about 15 years, and then
Come up. Yay!
Switzerland.
Yay!
She went on Teacup, but welcome to the panel, the creative. When you're on Teacup, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. For some reason, when I came up, my music started on my phone at the same time, so I had Pink playing. So I went and just turned the music off.
Hello, beautiful.
Hello, Emma. Hello, everyone.
Wie geht's dir?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Oh my goodness. I have a question to all of you.
Okay.
What is your thoughts on the spirit world?
Ooh.
I'll let you guys discuss it. I'll be gone for 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, you guys start answering that question.
Okie dokie.
I definitely believe I'm a witch. I believe I believe very firmly in things, but at the same time, it's quite supple and elastic. So, yeah. But yeah, and I've had a few experiences that I would say were otherworldly, at least.
Oh, go ahead, Meadow. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I have a lot of theories on the spirit world. I mean, like my faith is Norse, so I think the gods are in different realms and they can visit us at different times. And I also think that like when I die, I believe I'm going to go to a certain afterlife depending on how I lived my life. The nice thing is that, to me anyways, that there's not so much of a punishment aspect to that or anything. It's just kind of there's a right fit for everybody sort of mentality.
I agree.
And I think you can, for instance, contact people after they've passed on, like ancestors. I think you can contact gods and deities, but that's just all my personal belief. I also, subscribe to many theories, and I don't discount anything per se, and I think that's all we can really do is theorize and go with the one that resonates to us, right? But of course it can't be proved, but that's the things that I kind of believe about it.
Well, you have nearly the same thought as I do, Metal, because I believe I believe that, okay, let me expand. It's like you are in a bookstore, the world's big bookstore or the biggest library. And you find the biggest, thickest book there is in the world. More thickest than any other thickest books there is. And in that book, every pages represent a world dimension or realm in the spirit world itself. So what you and I believe is nearly the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's entirely possible that, I think it's entirely possible that there's nothing, and I think it's entirely possible that there's everything. I think it's definitely a possibility that all the different gods exist. Now, when I say that, I don't believe there's any such thing as a monotheistic god or an all-powerful, all benevolent, all knowing, etc., etc. But I already do believe that there's multiple gods, right? And that none of them can do everything, and they're limited in their abilities, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
In that way, I do think that there could be all the different gods of each pantheon could exist, or maybe it's all the same pantheon described differently through different cultures over time. But in that thought, I think it's possible that there is a right path for each different person.
Yeah, because I don't believe that the gods is here to control us. I think the gods is here to help us in many different way and forms that they can.
I kind of think we can help each other, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't necessarily have any what I would say as supernatural or anything like that belief per se. And I think when it's done, you know, you're born, you fill a life, and it's over. And you're lucky if it was mostly good. But there was a book Joseph Campbell wrote called Transformations of Myth Through Time, and the ways in which cultures have always used myths and stories and about gods and fairies and trolls and gnomes and the whole thing. It's all wonderful as long as it brings you to some kind of, you know, deeper meaning and fulfillment in your life. I think it's just great. I imagine that people like Creative Camper and I have talked about you know, some experiences with some substances and, you know, psychedelics and those kind of things that bring you a different perception. It opens up parts of the brain and the eye that otherwise wouldn't be accessible to the brain under average circumstances. So that's all wonderful. I feel that when I sing music with other people, you know, when you're locked in together and you're breathing together and your hearts become synchronous, it's all great. I as long as it leads us to all a deeper understanding of one another and to be loving, I'm right there with you.
I agree.
I
Yeah,
don't believe in anything spiritual or metaphysical. I did, you know, I was a Christian and I believed that I could talk to God, and I believed that I was filled with the Holy Spirit, and that I was chosen, and that I was special. But then I deconstructed from Christianity, and after I realized that I didn't really believe in Christianity anymore, and that I didn't believe in Yahweh or Jesus, it made me realize that I didn't really believe in any of the gods, because they were all pretty much the same with as far as evidence and what they had to offer. And it was very freeing for me to let go of all that, because it first led to depression, and to be honest, and then it was freeing, okay? And then it was freeing. But first it was depressing, but then it was freeing, because at first I felt like I have abandonment issues. I was abandoned as a child. I was 3 years old when I was abandoned. And so I have abandonment issues. And I felt almost as if I had been abandoned by the creator of the cosmos. So, yeah, I sunk into depression after that. But after a while, I realized that it was actually empowering. It meant that not only was I responsible for the things around me, but that I had the power to make the decisions on what to do about things that were going on around me, instead of being a passive, praying little pawn in the game. I get to be the one who makes the decisions, who says, this is what I'm going to do to help my fellow humans today. This is what I'm going to do to give back. And this is what I'm going to take today, because this is what I need today from my fellow humans. And I like having that power, and I think it's more real. And to me, it is, if there could be anything spiritual for me, it is the fact that there's so much we still don't know, and it's all natural. It all came about through natural sequences that are just unfathomable. And to me, that is more spiritual than something metaphysical that I can't prove.
I feel.
You said
Sorry.
something that caught my attention there for a minute. You said like when you deconstructed, you left Christianity and then you looked at the other gods and stuff, and you kind of saw the same thing. I would say like the gods that I follow now are night and day different from the Christian God.
I mean, in the fact that they're all mythology.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
There's no way to
as
like,
far as as far
prove
as evidence and
evidentiary.
proof, right. Yeah, you can't do that. There's no proof for any of them, any of the gods, any one right religion or anything like that. But I was just gonna say like there's so many differences for the worldview that I have now that like I just want to say like it's not hopeless, like when you're leaving Christianity, like whether you find something like I did, like I'm 100% like way happier working with the gods now that I do than I was as a Christian. And that was kind of the point of like what I think they're different in the aspect of just their character, not in the essence that you could prove them, because you can't prove any of that stuff.
Right.
But I would also say like if you're getting out of faith, and atheism is the way you're steering towards, like I can see how that would be it would feel a little maybe overwhelming, depressing, like you were saying, and like the whole you're born, you live, die thing. But I would just add to it like just because you have lost the faith or whatever, it doesn't mean that life isn't beautiful. Go out and see the sunrise, see the sunset. There's beautiful things in nature, and I think it's important to live for yourself and to live in a way that you're proud of, you're happy with, your children are proud of if you have them. And
Thank you,
I think
Archbishop.
that like the most important thing you can ask yourself on the daily, is like, well, if there is nothing out there, then, and personally to me, this would be the most important thing. The most important question to ask every day would be, how am I going to be remembered then when I'm dead or when I go? How are people going to remember me? How is my children going to remember me? How are friends, acquaintances going to remember me? How am I going to be talked about when I'm gone? What's that reputation that I built, So I just wanted to share that like there's reasons to, to not only be happy, but to strive for a sense of purpose and pride, even without a certain religion or something, behind you.
Oh, absolutely. I think, though, it's a natural process. And so if you are deconstructing or have recently deconstructed and you do feel a sense of depression or grief, I want you to know that it's a very normal feeling, because for people who were indoctrinated since you were children, you do lose a lot, and there's a lot to be grieved. You lose community. You've lost your God. For me, it was my best friend. You've lost eternal life when you suddenly don't believe anymore in those things. And so it is normal to be depressed. It is normal to grieve. And if you need some help through the process, we have a Discord server called the Deconstruction Junction. It's absolutely free to join. The link is in my bio. You can also join my Discord. I do want to start chatting in my Discord when I'm live, so we can hang out in there and talk while I'm live. But yeah, those links are in my bio if you want to join. But he's right. There was a lot more for me to look forward to. Unfortunately, my indoctrination had taught me so many wrong things that the process led me to depression first. And then we worked through it and we realized it's a much better place.
It's really a matter of perspective too, right? Because like now you can live life on your own terms without being held down by that. But also, like what's really helped me as well is finding others like yourself that have gone through the process and knowing you're not alone, for one, but two, learning more from you guys and getting that positive reinforcement of, yeah, I know what I did was right. The path I'm going down is correct. Like I'm on a good path for myself, regardless of what anybody else thinks or whatever. But I do have to get off here, but I just kind of wanted to throw that stuff out there before I left.
Nice to meet you, Metal. Thank you for coming up. You guys show Metal some love and make sure you're following Metal. Mark, welcome to the panel. Are you over 18? And did you come up to add to the conversation or let me ask you questions?
I am 18. I just want to say I'm a Christian. And I want to ask you, like, why are you atheist in a way?
To be honest with you, a lot of things add up to when you go from being a believer to not believe anymore. It's because you don't want to, like, you believe what you believe. And I really believed it all to be true. So of course I didn't want to not believe, but, the more I read and the more I studied and the more I learned, the more I realized the story wasn't true. And that it was just like every other story I'd been told about every other god. And I just didn't believe anymore after that. I couldn't make myself if I wanted to, which I wanted to.
Okay. Makes sense. I was gonna ask, like, have you ever like read the Bible fully through at all?
I used to say as a Christian that I had, but to be honest with you, Mark, the more I learned after I left the religion, the more I was like, there was things I learned that I was like, I don't remember that being in the Bible. So then it made me question whether I ever really had. So now every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, I read the Bible right here live. We're going all the way through it to make sure I read all the way through it. But I will tell you that I now read the Bible every day. And so I read it more now than I ever did as a Christian.
Okay. That's good. Like, have you ever felt the Holy Spirit, like, at all, like, in your life? Like, has it ever guided you?
I thought I did, but I've shared this story earlier. My son came to me when he was a young man, and he told me that he was no longer a Christian. And that really bothered me, obviously. I, thought, oh, he's going to hell and stuff. But I also thought, oh my God, he thinks I talk to like an imaginary friend. What the hell? Oh shit, my son thinks I'm like talking to my imaginary friend. And I've told him things that the Holy Spirit has put on my heart to tell him. So what does he think that is? Like some of that shit was some really good advice, some really good life important advice. And I told him that. I was like, you must think I'm crazy. And he said, no, I think you're really smart and you're really intuitive. And I think you give the credit to God.
Okay. And what is like the forgot my thought, man. God tell you, my fault. My brain's all messed up now. My fault.
Oh, like what were some of the messages that I had heard from God before?
Yeah.
There was all kinds of things like, man, okay. I'll tell you one of the funniest ones, okay? Now that I'm not a believer, to you, that you'll probably go, that's kind of a cool story. But to me, now that I'm not a believer, it all seems ridiculous, okay? But at the time, I really believed this was from God, okay? I woke up this one morning and I thought God was telling me to go pay my water bill, which I kind of thought was ridiculous because my husband pays the bills. Okay? And so I was like, okay, I will call them in a little bit. I'm going to go take a bath. And I went and started the bath, but there was no water. And so I thought God was telling me, see, I didn't tell you to call them. I said, go pay your water bill. And you're not listening. And I was like, all right. And he was like, now I want you to get your kids together. You're going to go pay that water bill. And you're going to tell them that you didn't listen to me. And I'm so cringe that I did this. This is so stupid.
Well, this is an amazing story, though.
So uncomfortable. It's just so cringy. So then I packed up my kids in my van, right? And I go and I walk into, and listen, I live in a really small town too. So like everybody knew everybody, and I did this. And I walked in there and I said, like, hey, shut up, Jared. I said, yeah, God told me to come and pay my water bill this morning. I didn't listen to him. And so he told me I have to come pay it. And then I had to share this story with you.
I love it.
And so they're like, okay. Like, they were probably really like, whatever, you weirdo. Okay, so I paid my water bill, and then I'm driving home, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go, like, get a cup of coffee. And God said, no, you're not. You left the water on in the bathtub, you idiot. I drove home, and the water was, like, right up to the top, and I thought it was like, God.
That's wild.
Oh, that's amazing. That is so
meanwhile,
good.
there's children starving. But God, he's playing games with my water bill and shit first thing in the morning. What is wrong with me?
I always enjoy this idea of like this all-powerful being, like being worried about your
But would you
water
say that was
bill.
not God, though? But would you say that was not God, though, right? If you...
Well, I don't believe in God, so of course that was not God.
I mean, like, at the
I
time.
know.
Like,
No, at the time, I really still believed it was God. 100% I believe that was God. That's why my bath didn't overflow. See, if I had stayed one more minute, it would have overflowed. But I finally listened to God and drove straight home and saved my floor. What an idiot. I just, that is so dumb to think any of that was God. Plot twist. It was actually God wanting you to get baptized again. Jared, you crack me up. So no, it wasn't God. And there were other very much more important things that I thought God told me and said to me, and many, many, many.
See, for me, this whole question of being religious or not is just very even if what you don't believe doesn't fit what I do. I'm somebody who has their feet very much on the ground and their head very much in the clouds. So I'll go in diving into history of the Bible and what's actually going on at the time in reality, not in the Bible, but comparing it to what is being said, looking at old symbols, looking at stories from around the region where people have moved, because you figure out kind of why this book was put together, and it's fascinating, but I would not go and put my life on this. But at the same time, I have certain beliefs, but my core belief is more we're part of a universe that is amazing, and in each of our lives, I think it expresses itself in its own way. We find our own way to explain it, to make sense of it, and that's okay as long as we're not trying to impose it on somebody else or say this is the absolute truth. No, it's my truth. I see my universe and understand it in this way, and it works for me. And I find it beautiful in a way that you don't see it at all like I do. And it's actually closer to how religion started off, of kind of seeing, you were saying, oh, I find this absolutely amazing that all of this happened naturally. This idea of just being and doing and living is sacred. The mundane is what is great and amazing. And it's not more complicated than that. But yeah, for me, it expresses itself in this way. And for somebody else, it's this other way. And I don't know, I just see beauty in that in itself.
That is
yeah.
awesome.
So if that was from God, right? Let's say that story was from God. Right now, your perspective, you're saying what God's doing was fake. which in the Bible is, the unforgivable sin. And
Yeah, I'm
that's
not
rejecting
worried
the Holy
about it
Spirit.
anymore. Can I ask you a question, Mark?
Go ahead.
Did you know that there is a god that is from an island in like the Caribbean, and he's supposed to be all powerful too, and all loving, and all the alls and everything. But the one thing was that he is a she, and it's a matriarchal system, and they believe that her giving birth was the sacrifice that we all needed for any of the wrongdoings that we would do, and that alone was the sacrifice. Do you believe what I'm telling you? Do you believe my story? Does any of it
No.
resonate? Do you want to worship her? Right? And I
No.
can't make you believe that if I wanted to, right? I couldn't even make
So
you. Like,
I
there's
can hear
nothing
you.
I could bring. There's nothing I could say that would make you believe that that's really who you should worship, because you really believe Jesus is the one. And I'm just telling you, just like you don't believe in that matriarch, I
Mm-hmm.
don't believe in Jesus. I can't. Like, the story is ridiculous. It doesn't add up. There's contradictions in the Bible. Nobody else really wrote about any of this stuff, and it just doesn't add up for me. And I can't make myself. I
Mm-hmm.
could pretend, but then wouldn't God know I was pretending?
I mean, yes, but at the same time, that's what Christ died for, was to have faith. Was like to
But
But
how can
no,
I put
faith
it, like
isn't
to
he
pretending.
believe?
no. First and foremost, Mark, he was
Mm-hmm.
murdered. He was not crucified because of their belief. It's because of priests that wanted to get rid of him because they believed he was a heretic. They believed that he was a heretic because of what he believed, and he was trying to change people's mind about God, that he was more loving than they were, they believed that was from the Oldest Testament than the newest.
Okay. I see you probably coming from there.
You can try other people, but you cannot try someone that have been in a free church and heard people brainwash other people like me about God and about other things. So please don't force us to believe in the same thing as you do.
I understand. But as like I was gonna say, that case that you proved, it was not really the case. They killed Jesus because he thought he was saying blasphemy, because they thought he was saying that he was God. But I mean, he was, but like the Jews didn't think that, so they killed Christ, or unalive Christ for blasphemy.
But the
No,
Romans
they
did.
killed
The
him
Romans
because
did because he was breaking a law, first of all. He was
yeah,
yes, by being
and
but
yeah, and but first and foremost, the Romans killed him, yeah, but the priests in Israel did kill him too because they believed he was a heretic.
Historically, the one thing we have very few traces of Jesus historically, not in the Bible, but outside of the Bible by historians that are writing around the time or not too far from it. Was there potentially somebody preaching named Jesus, and some of this message that probably, because somebody that is this unimportant for the Roman Empire, because somebody who's preaching a faith that is not theirs, that they're trying to control, is not somebody to care much about, apart from the fact that he's making a mess and creating a stir or doing whatever he did and whatever happened. But did he die for this? Did he die for that? In reality, we don't really know. There was probably somebody named Jesus, what most historians agree on, because the fact he's so lowly and there are these traces, probably. The rest, and what people did with it, well, we see what it's done throughout history and what it's still doing to people and how people use it against others. I have no issue with people believing. I have an issue when you start to use your beliefs to make yourself above other people.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that as a Christian, as well. I feel like, if you're a Christian, you're trying to, say you're Christian to make yourself more, how can I put it, higher standard or higher power than other people, then, you're not really a Christian at that point. You're just a title to you, basically. So, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
The reality is the religion is being used daily to bring other people down or to justify denying other people rights or to tell just even, I'm not saying this is your case. I know certain Christians hold different beliefs and see things in different ways, but you have to recognize, and this is not the first time, it's just the story of Christianity it is not nice and pretty and full of love and peace, the story of Christianity. We can find some good things about, how to treat others. I'm autistic and I grew up with a bit of religion. Like my mom grew up in a Presbyterian church, but not extreme or anything. I grew up in Switzerland. My mom gave me a basic kind of religious Protestant education, but it was very much acts on treat others the way you wish to be treated, be loving, be kind, just basically be a good person, And it helped me as an autistic kid to treat others the way you wish to be treated. Yeah, that's an easy rule, and I know what I don't want to be done to me. So I'm just not going to do that to other people. Great. This is good, but it does not need to be put in a religious context. It does not need to be the absolute truth. And there are many people throughout history in religions and philosophy, in many, many forms, poetry, who have said these things, and where you can find these exact same things. It doesn't need to be this is the absolute truth. Everyone needs to believe like me. And I'm going to use this to make other people feel less or feel like they deserve to be burned for all eternity.
Yeah, I agree on that. But the Bible, mainly itself, is to tell you about God. It's not to tell you how to live. It's just to give background on God and what God does and what God is. For example,
that's
the
what
Old
it tells
Testament.
me. It tells me in the Old Testament that it is a book of laws that I am to follow. And the prophets are to tell me about the Messiah that's going to save Israel. And then this Jesus comes and says he's there to for the lost sheep of Israel. And here I am as a Gentile following him anyway. And so that's a little confusing. But so it does tell me how to live my life. It tells me the rules. It tells me the prophets. And then it tells me about the Messiah. It's definitely telling me about how to live my life.
It tells you how to not sin on purpose in a way. For example, the Old Testament laws is applied in the New Testament as well. Christ came down to fulfill it. Therefore we, if we have our faith in Christ, the laws don't apply to us. Just follow Christ. It's that simple.
That's not true. That's not what the Bible says.
That's not true.
Jesus said he came to fulfill the law. Jesus said he came to fulfill. Jesus said he came to fulfill the law, not to abolish it, and that not one jot nor tittle will pass away until heaven and earth pass away and all is finished. Heaven and earth have not passed away. We are not supposed to do away with the Levitical law until heaven and earth pass away.
Yeah, I get that point, but the thing is, what Christ was saying in that texture, or in that verse, I'm sorry, he was saying that it's not. It's like he came down to do that. Like he is the law. He is like the way, the truth, and the life. He said that. It's kind of hard to explain. You know what I mean? It's just
He
sorry.
said,
It's hard to
anyone who
explain.
tells you not to follow the law or to do away with it is the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't follow the law. I'm saying Christ came down to fulfill it. I'm saying like if we have our faith
Because
in
a
Him,
lot
the
of
law don't
Christians
really
say
apply
we
to us.
don't have to. That's not true. He's telling you it fucking applies to you. And if you don't follow it, you're least in the kingdom of heaven. He's very clear on that.
I mean, the guy in the comments.
And David said, and who was David? A man after God's own heart. David wrote poetry to the law saying how much he loved it, how it like ruled his life, and he loved it. There was nothing greater than God's law.
Yeah, but God also
Sin
says,
is not obeying the law. So if you just
yes, I
pick
get
and
on that.
choose and you just do what you want, then you're literally a lukewarm Christian. And we know what Jesus said about that. He's going to spew you out of his mouth. He's going to say he doesn't know
but
you.
I get that what the Father said. If you try to follow the law, you'll sin. Because like
No,
you're
he
trying to
didn't.
not
He
sin,
said
but
this law is easy. It is so close to you. It is so near to you. Who are you to say it's too hard? He said that it is not. It is not too hard for you.
okay, so why did Christ come down? Okay, hold on. So let me put it this way, okay? Why did Jesus come down to fulfill the law if the law was too hard for us to keep?
He didn't come down because the law was too hard for you to keep. He came down because you weren't doing it, and he was pissed. And he was saying, you're going to follow the law. Follow it. I'm your last chance. I'm the last bit of it. Follow the law, or when you come to me and say, Lord, Lord, I will say, I do not know you. Get away from me.
Yeah, so like I'm not like what you're saying is Christ came down to die for our sins, which is fulfillment of the law, right? Those who have faith in him shall not perish but have eternal life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
And what happens
in that
if you don't follow
context,
the law?
which is Christ, you perish, you don't have eternal life.
No.
Christ is the law. Christ is he is eternal life. Christ said the only way to get to the Father is to know him. So like it's hard to explain.
A Christian cannot sin Bible verses, please.
I'm not saying we stop sinning. We still sin, yes, but I'm saying like we sin until death.
You shouldn't be, because you should be following the law. And if you don't
And that's
follow
what
the
God
law,
said
you're
not to do.
sinning. And when you sin, you are no longer a Christian. Let's look at 1 John 4:20. Those
Do
who
you
say, I
follow the
love
10
God
Commandments
and
every
hate
day?
their brothers, or listen. 1
Okay.
John 4:20. Those who say, I love God and hate their brothers or sisters are liars. For those who do not love a brother or sister whom they have seen cannot love God whom they have not seen. How does God's love abide in anyone who has the world's goods and sees no, that's not the ones I want, mister. No, it's Bible verses that say Christians cannot sin, and it's either in John or 1 John, and I think it's in the 1st or 3rd chapter. Okay, sorry, wrong verse. 1 John 3:6. No one who abides in him sins. No one who sins has either seen him or known him. You can't be a Christian and continue in sin. Sin is not doing the law. Jesus said, if you don't do the law, you are sinning. And you are saying that you don't have to do those laws anymore. And Jesus said, anybody who teaches that is least in the kingdom of heaven. Literally, by going online and seeing these things, you're making yourself least in the kingdom of heaven. I don't want you to do that.
No. So what I'm saying is, yes, you still sin. But I'm saying that your sin are forgiven because Christ is inside you, Christ is in you. right?
Why does it
So
say
in
you
that
won't
standpoint,
sin
you
in
can't
1
sin
John 3:6?
because the Holy Spirit inside you is going to force you to repent.
That's not
Once
what
the
it
Holy
says.
Spirit inside you, He
No
never
one
leaves.
abides in him sins. No one who
The Holy
sins
Spirit
has
is
either seen him or known him. You just think you know him, but you don't know him. If you think it's okay to still sin and that you could just pray it all away, you're wrong. That's not what 1 John says.
You're right,
You
and
can't do that.
you're right. I mean, I don't do it, but it's God's grace that allows. How can I put it? Like,
Who talks about grace?
I mean, Jesus, God. I mean, the Old Testament as well.
No. There's only one person who talks
He
about
said,
grace, Paul. So do you worship Paul or do you worship Jesus? Because
"I don't
Jesus
worship
didn't talk
Jesus." I
about
mean,
grace.
it's in Hebrews.
That's not Jesus in Hebrews.
Yeah, Paul
I
did
know,
quite
I
a
know it's not
number on
Jesus
what
talking in
Jesus said.
Hebrew, but I'm saying it's the words in Hebrew. It said faith and grace are the only things that get you into heaven.
There's nowhere in the Old Testament where the word grace is mentioned. And
I said the New Testament.
And the
I said
old
Hebrew.
the New Testament was not written in Hebrew, sir. It was written in Greek. So if you're talking New Testament, it would be in Greek. If you're talking Old Testament, it would be in Hebrew.
That's not. I'm saying the book Hebrew.
And I told you Paul wrote that, and you said no. I'm talking about the language. What are you doing, dude? I
Well, my
literally
fault.
said,
I
oh,
didn't.
Paul wrote that. And you go, no, I'm talking about the language. And I said, oh, okay, well, that's the Old Testament. You go, I'm talking about the New Testament. I go, they didn't do that in the New Testament. What are you doing? It's very dishonest, whatever it is.
I don't follow Paul. I follow Christ. I'm saying so.
You're following a deceiver right now, the way you're being dishonest, the way you're talking to me.
I mean, I'm sorry that you think I'm being dishonest. I'm not trying to be, but I'm saying what the Bible says. Faith and grace.
The Bible is man-made. It's not from whoever you're saying is. It's man-made.
And yeah, I mean God. You're right.
Excuse me, God have not done any book at all.
You're right.
How can you prove that the Bible is God-made and not man-made?
Well, one, it goes against all man's desires, everybody's. It says, yes, it does. It says not to lust, which is.
What
Okay.
if tomorrow?
I'm trying to explain to you.
Our desire is to survive. Our desire is to actually help and love each other. That is our normal pattern for any creature that lives in community, and humans are a communal creature. So that's
not a desire.
natural. Yes, it is. It's a natural desire of ours to help each other. That is actually a natural desire. It helps so that a species can continue to survive and grow.
That's the only way we made
Or
it.
should I
all
say the
way
flesh
here.
is your desire? For example, the flesh wants lust. The flesh wants to smoke.
Maybe yours does,
smoke.
dude, but that's everybody's is different. I do want to read you one more thing because you said again that I'm telling you Christians can't sin. I'm going to give you another Bible verse for it. It's 1 John 5:18.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I'm still going to read it. 1 John 5:18. We know that those who are born of God do not sin, but the one who is born of God protects them, and the evil one does not touch them. So if you're still sinning, if you have an issue with that, you need to go talk to Jesus, ask him to send the Holy Spirit to you and protect you from Satan, because you don't want him touching you.
Yeah, I pray every day for that won't happen. So, but like the thing is, like, yes, as Christians, you cannot sin because the Holy Spirit guides you towards not to sin. For example,
but you're
if
all
you
out there
was
doing it anyway, because I see you doing it every day. I watch you out there.
Who's y'all?
Yeah, cheating on your Christians every single day. We see them come out here and be.
I'm the way.
You're not a Christian? Oh, you're the way. Oh, okay.
Christ called his followers the way.
Okay. Did he follow Jesus?
I would say you're a Paulinist, actually, but
Yeah, is that why you're trying to force us to believe exactly the same thing that
I'm not
you?
trying to force y'all. I'm just saying. I mean, like,
That is exactly what you do.
I'm trying to. Okay, I'm sorry that y'all probably think that, but I'm just trying to say what the Bible says.
Well,
But you
Hopefully, y'all
haven't
might have a
even
change of
been
heart.
using the
I'm not trying to
Bible.
force you.
I've been out Bibling you every verse. Okay, so you don't know the Bible well enough to be doing that. Okay, and
I think I know the Bible quite well.
No, you don't know
You
it very well.
definitely in this. You've not proven that today for sure.
How can I prove I know the Bible well enough to? I'm confused.
What do you
Like the verse
mean?
y'all gave me, I backed it up with scripture.
That is
You
so
haven't.
disingenuous.
Okay, and I've showed you where you're wrong in scripture at every turn.
Okay.
So no,
Okay, so
I'm sorry.
do y'all believe Christ is God?
I
Y'all
do.
believe
I'm
Christ
an
is God?
atheist. I'm an atheist.
I know that I meant like before, like, but say like
When I
thought you
was a
had that Jesus
Christian,
Christ is
yes, I did.
I
okay.
did believe as well.
I
for
believed
quite
in
a
the
while.
Holy Trinity. I was a Trinitarian.
Okay.
I half indoctrinated myself. It was indoctrinated when I went to Christian camp, girls camp in North Carolina for a few years there. Yeah, it took me a few years afterwards to let go of the fear and like the not fun.
I bet. I bet. But yeah, the verse I was gonna give y'all to prove that Christ is God, you know, the man version is God, is
First
See,
and
you're
foremost,
trying to prove to us that your Christ is God to us as well.
I mean,
Mark, how come you
I'm
just
just
said you weren't a
confused.
Christian to me, but you said in chat, I'm a Christian to Russell? You know, Russell
Right.
is a Christian, but actually him and I are pretty friendly with each other, so that was kind of dumb of you, by the way. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's a weird lie.
I thought we was
That's
going
a
off
weird
titles.
lie. What a weird lie to tell.
I mean,
What a
technically,
weird
in
lie.
the American standard, I'm a Christian technically.
So,
But in reality, I'm a
it
follower
was
of Christ.
stupid of you to go, I'm not a Christian to me, wasn't it? It was just rude. It was, you were trying to play a semantics game with me. And I don't know why you did it. We've been having a really good talk. We were having a really decent talk. And then you were like, I'm just going to be a dick right now and go, I'm not a Christian. When you said just 10 seconds ago, you were a Christian in the
I
chat.
am, but at the same time, I don't
What
follow
a
the
joke.
Christian ways in America.
That must feel like you must be really
don't follow the
insecure
Christian
to have to
standards in
play little
America.
games like that when you're talking to people and just having
No,
a
I meant
conversation. Because I've been nothing but respectful and I've listened to everything
I
you've
agree.
said.
Yeah.
And then for you to do that, that's such a weird manipulative little move for you to make.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that
I'm
I
gonna
did
go ahead
that.
and
I
drop
didn't
you
mean to.
down. But I'm gonna be ending the live in like the next 10 minutes. But what I like to do before we end the live is to allow my panel to give some closing thoughts for the day. And if you guys could show them love, I would love it if you did that. So the creative, why don't you just tell me anything at all? We just like you to just share anything you want to with everybody before we leave today.
Well, I think we need to go back to stories being stories and stories being something we can learn from but we don't make our absolute truth. Because that's what all these things are. They're stories, and stories are supposed to remain exactly that. And I think it's quite telling also that we were getting along absolutely fine, having all different types of beliefs and being able to see where our truths cross paths instead of see where they diverge. Because I think we can believe in actually being united even if we don't believe the same thing. There's always places where our truths cross and where we can find communality instead of finding differences or trying to force people down a path that doesn't fit them. So that's what I have to say.
Well, thank you so much for coming up here today.
Thank you for
lovely
having me.
meeting you.
Same.
Emma, it was so lovely meeting you today too. What are some of your final thoughts? Share with us.
Well, I can tell you, everyone was amazing except Mark, because I think he was the one that was trying to force us to believe in the exact same thing that he did. And I think he was kind of hostile, if you ask me.
Yeah, he did get a little hostile there, huh?
Yeah.
I find that just happens with me a lot with men. I don't know if you were here earlier when all the men came up to tell me off, but it was fun. No, it's just I don't know why.
Well, it's the same as in the life that the creative camper and I have been before. We are following our archbishop that is very different than other archbishop, because he is,
Yes, he is.
in a church that is very open for everyone. It doesn't matter what religion you're from, and we are very friendly and loving and understanding over there, but there are some people that are coming over there that is trying to force us to believe in the same thing as they do, or they are trying to attack the archbishop and saying bad things. So yeah, sometimes it's getting heated over there as well, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming up. You guys, please send Emma some love. And Emma, you're welcome back anytime. Thank you so much for being here. You guys, I tried something different today. I thought, hey, what if I just make it a really open-ended deal? Maybe I'll get some really cool Christians who'll come up and let me ask them some questions. And I really thought that last, conversation was going pretty good at first, but it's just like, at some point, they always, show me their true colors. As Born Again Atheist puts it, the mogs, they can't handle it. But since it's been quite the day for the misogyny, I want to share with you a little bit about the lyrics I wrote for this song. Tell you what they mean, and then we're going to go ahead and play my song for one last time today. And but I wrote this song, Miss Me Without Misogyny, because I noticed that I kept getting misogynists up in my lives. And I noticed it happens with like every female creator that I know, every single one. And I was like, God, it's just crazy how they treat the women on this app compared to the men, and the internal misogyny too, because I see it with women as well. There's so much. They will immediately start talking different to me than like if Joyful or Joel or somebody. I'm like, what is going on? So that is why I started to write it. But there's like at the end of it. There's a line that I put in there because more than once, and some of you have seen it, I've had somebody come up on my live or Joyful's live. It's happened several places, and different men who have told me, shut up, you're just a side character. You're just a side character. I run this live. I heard somebody saying it to Born Again Atheists. I run this live now, and things like that, where they, and then today I had that guy tell me, you're just a woman. What? And so the line says, I'm the star, you're the extra, baby. Miss Me Without Misogyny. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you before we leave for the day. Let's hear it one more time.
Miss me, now you gotta kiss me.
Thank you, everybody, for being here.
You're up my sentence, call it just a thought. Say you love strong women till you get caught. You want a queen who keeps it light and sweet. Bow down, little man, and kiss my feet. Yeah, you're misinformed, misguided, mistaken. And that charm, boy, I know you're faking. Miss me
92,000 likes, for helping me reach my gift goal, for all the gifts and all the support. You guys, thank you so much.
Miss me with that misogyny. You quote some podcast, call it intellect.
But all I see is you begging for respect. You raise our bodies, dismiss our praise, and cry my all. Men again. Miss me with your tone. Miss me with your sigh. Miss me with your sweetheart. Boy, bye, bye, bye.
Miss me with that misogyny. Don't need your fake apology. Miss me, can't you see?
I'm a star. You're just an extra baby.
Miss me with that misogyny.
You guys, it's Clara's birthday today. Happy birthday, Clara. Everybody send Clara gifts while she's up here for a minute, okay? Send her some gifts, send her some love. Clara does a lot in the community. You guys don't even know, okay? We're not going to listen to it again. I just wanted to listen to that one time. Happy birthday, Clara. How are you?
Thank you. Hey, everybody. Hey, Crystal.
Hey.
Oh, my God. I love that song, so I had to come up and jam.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I had so many this morning. Yeah, send her some gifts. She's amazing. She is one of the main people to take care of Christina Carroll's Discord server, which is just an awesome server. Like, you have no idea. You did a great job over there, Clara. And so yeah, if you are over
that's
there,
a lot,
check it out.
Crystal.
Oh gosh,
Oh
it's
my
such
God,
a great
thank you.
server.
Because you did, I know you helped out with Justin's server, and it's amazing. So coming from you, that's a lot. Thanks.
Well, I'm glad you got to come up so people could give you some flowers and stuff for your birthday. I hope you have a great birthday today. Are you doing something special?
Yeah, I'm going up to the Keys, hopefully. I'm waiting still. But yeah, a couple friends got gathered together, and so we could go up to the Keys and stuff like that.
How fun. That sounds fun. All right. Well, I hope you have a very... Oh, cool. That was really cool, Tahir. That was really cool.
Thank you.
I'm going to give them a few more minutes to give you more gifts because they're still coming in. So I'm just trying to, like, drag this out a little bit.
Thank you. Oh, my God. Like, I'm so excited for today, for the whole weekend.
Good.
So excited. So what's your plans for the weekends?
I don't know. I can't remember if we even have any plans this weekend. I probably don't. I need to book some more Decon Q&As with CrystalJae. I hadn't booked any for a little while. I took a little break from doing the interview ones because I'm trying to build up my watch hours over on YouTube. And I've noticed that if people don't know who my guest is, I don't get the watch hours over there unless I do the conversation with Christian YouTube videos instead. So I'm trying to do a few more of those right now. But I think I'm going live Sunday after Mezzo's Atheist Sunday School. But I'll be doing some chats. I don't know what the topic will be yet.
Okay, well, I'll be there. Well, awesome. Thank you for everything you do, Crystal, in the community. I really appreciate everything you do. Like, you always support everybody. So we appreciate you so much. Because I see you all over, like, with Christina, Thinker, Justin.
I know, I try to pop in because there's so many great people out there.
Yeah, you are amazing. So you do, like, it... don't worry, because like I know like the the viewership will come in YouTube, because like you all around a great person, so I'm not worried about that.
Thank
Time
you
will
so
come.
much. I appreciate you so much. Well, you guys, I'm going to go eat some tacos that Doug brought me a while ago. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. I will see you Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time right here. Have a great day.